Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Episode 17, right?
20. Now we're 17.
17. I knew I was right. 17. 2 dads drink and 1 uncle drinks. We finally got Jake.
Uncle, he's here.
Jake is here, finally.
School's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but school's been over for like a month, and we finally get his ass here.
We haven't thought about it.
And because Jake's here, we're going to talk 99% fantasy football.
Because the champion who forgets his belt.
He forgot his belt.
So we have to deal with the Cowboy picture.
Yep, the Cowboys picture is there.
I do not support that. I support winning fantasy football leagues like I do.
That's the disgrace. You don't even carry your belt.
Welcome, Jake.
Thank you.
Our unofficial sponsor, Sean, you want to talk about that? Do you even know what it is? Did you even look at it?
I have not looked at it yet. This is the first I'm looking at. It's a fancy bottle, though.
It is a fancy bottle.
Basil Hayden's Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Looks like it would be good. Looks to be something I would find in Italy. If I was in old Italy, I'd find this on one of their shelves. They pour it on their food or something.
Well, I found that at Fine Wines and Good Spirits. So
that makes sense.
That's about where I found it. So
that makes sense. Well, we'll see how you do, Basil Hayden.
And Jake, you're going to take a shot of Pepsi. We're going to have video proof right now. It's Pepsi sponsored Jake being here because he's underage.
We don't support underage drinking.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Not as bad as the one last week.
No, the one last week was shitty.
That's still pretty rough, though.
Did we ever have a taker of the last one?
No, it's still sitting in my drawer. Nobody. Oh, I didn't check the comments. Maybe somebody did.
No, we did.
Okay, then no, we didn't. Speaking of whiskey, before we get into fantasy football talk, should we do the Slipknot whiskey or the Resident Evil 25th anniversary whiskey?
Guess.
I'm irrelevant to both of those things.
That's why it's your choice.
Slipknot.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'm next week, so let's see how fast I can order it.
Let's see if we can order and get it. Maybe I'll order the Resident Evil one for the following week.
There we go.
So we'll do both. Why not? I'm a big Resident Evil fan, especially the video games, not the movies. But I do like Slipknot as well, so that's cool. We're good. You never played any Resident Evil games?
No.
Me neither. So
I don't really play any games. I'm never big into video games.
What's wrong with you?
It's not Fortnite.
It was for like a year.
All right. Let's get into it. Mr. Champion, welcome to the show. We're going to talk first about do not draft list that came out.
I feel like he's the champ. He needs to go first on every single part here.
I should not have won. My team was not the best in the league.
Michael Fabian. He's a big name. He came out with this list. That's a good name. So, Jake, since you are the champion, I want you to critique this list first as the top 5 people you do not draft on your fantasy team. And it is DeAndre Swift, running back for the Lions, David Montgomery, running back for Chicago, Josh Jacobs, running back for the Raiders, James Robinson, running back for Jacksonville. That was your boy.
And then they drafted another running back. So. And
then Kenny Golladay, wide receiver for the New York Football Giants.
Didn't I give you James Robinson? Who did I give him?
No, you gave me Kenny Golladay.
Who did I give James Robinson? Oh, Aaron Jones trade.
Aaron Jones.
That's right.
You threw him in to make the Aaron Jones trade.
Who else did I give him that?
It was receiver Antonio Brown.
Yeah, that's right, AB.
Because we made you throw in somebody else. If he was just going to trade you Aaron Jones straight up for AB, and we made you throw in somebody else. We're like, come on, that's not fair. So,
you didn't make me. I was telling myself to do it.
I mean,
I didn't have to, but I was telling myself to.
Yeah, I mean, we would have all been against that trade. But Massimo would have done it straight up.
Julio?
He was going to do it straight up. I was totally against the Julio. We endlessly talked about that on this podcast.
That's why I brought it up, because it's a consistent theme.
Champion. Do you have any critiques? Do you want to?
Oh, absolutely.
Anybody who shouldn't be on this list?
Who shouldn't be on this list? Probably the best, probably Swift. The backfield's going to be pretty much just Swift.
Actually, they brought in, what's his name, Jamal Williams from Green Bay.
I don't know how big of it.
He did enough stuff behind Aaron Jones in Green Bay.
Enough to make it a split offense, especially with Jared Goff at quarterback.
I think Aaron Jones is a better running back than DeAndre Swift, and Jamal Williams got play time with that.
Because Aaron Jones is never going to be a 30 carries guy. Aaron Jones is like 15, 20 carries, but he makes big plays and scores a lot of points with those.
I don't know if I agree with that because we just haven't seen him do it. But
Well, if we haven't seen him do it, why shouldn't?
Well,
we
that's
pick
because they had
quarterbacks?
Jamal Williams as the backup, and then AJ Dillon. Now,
His whole career, he's never been.
well, you're oddly quiet.
I'm trying to think of the last fantasy relevant running back that Detroit has
Never. They haven't had a 1,000-yard running back in like
since
20
Barry
years.
Sanders.
Right.
So, like, I'm not going to bet on any Detroit running back. The only thing I will say is I think that coach is going to
Dan Campbell.
He's going to run.
He's going to play some knees off.
He's going to tote the pigskin, right?
Probably.
That's what Dan Campbell's going to do. He's
Well,
going to tote that rock.
they did bring Jared Goff in to play quarterback,
Which makes you want to tote the rock even more.
They're
going to be running the ball a lot.
They didn't bring any receivers, and who was their first-round draft pick? Penei Sewell.
It's good for
that's
star
right.
tackle. That was smart on them. That was great on them.
I should not have stepped them. Cincinnati should have taken him with the 5th.
Cincinnati should have. Miami should have. There was a bunch of teams who should have taken him. Cincinnati was the dumbest one not to take him, but
their receiving core is already good.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I get the Jamar Chase move with Joe Burrow. I get it, but nonetheless, you need to protect your quarterback first.
I feel like you could draft the receiver in the 3rd round.
This year, you definitely could have.
Michael Gallup was a 3rd round pick. He's a stud.
Most guys you can't anymore. Come on, Jamar Chase, or not Jamar Chase, Chase Claypool for us.
Right.
He was 2nd round.
That's what I'm saying. You can get good receivers in 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
Deontay Johnson. I don't remember what draft we put Deontay.
Michael
Johnson
Thomas was like a 6th round draft.
No, I mean what round?
2nd or 3rd.
What round was Michael Thomas drafted? He was like a 6th round draft.
Was he?
Nobody even knew about Michael Thomas. Google it real quick. I got something else going on my phone. I thought the millennium first. No, you're not even a millennial. You're like a Gen Z or whatever. I thought the Gen Z would be the first one to Google something when I say Google it.
Except for, you remember he has fights with his phones. He loses them and has fights with them.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about that one. So who won the fight? You or the couch? Because we talked about it on the show.
Oh, losing my shit in Sean's couch.
Yeah. Who won? You or the couch?
The couch creamed me.
The couch creamed me. Dude, I have like a 7-minute long video of you looking under the couch, looking through the couch. Finally, you crawled over the couch. And I started recording probably 10 minutes in, right? It was a solid 15 minutes easy that you were looking for your phone in the couch. And that was what, the 2nd or 3rd time he lost his phone in the couch.
Is it that bad?
I've lost my phone in the couch since then.
You haven't been in my house since then.
Oh my goodness. You still haven't figured it out yet?
I have it. I'm having a hard time.
Wow.
Same.
I thought it was going to be a quick Google.
He's from Ohio State, right?
Yes. Pick 47, 2nd round.
Oh, okay. I thought he was like a 6th round pick. So either way, that's a 2nd round pick. He was
technically the Saints' first pick. Didn't have a 1st rounder that year.
But he was legit top 3 receiver for like 5 years in a row in the NFL.
Which, if someone doesn't keep him in our league, he's
not kept. I can tell you that already.
I would not keep him. There's no way I would keep him. Are you kidding me? You're gonna have Tyson Hill
over CeeDee Lamb. Generous Winston.
Winston is not going to be their starting quarterback.
Winston will be their starting
Winston will come in when they need to sling the ball 60 yards down the field.
That is not true. They're not going to play an actual quarterback over Taysom Hill.
They just paid Taysom Hill $35 million a year. They are playing Taysom Hill
just
quarterback.
paid, what's his name? He was like 16 for the 1 year on the contract.
35 or 16. Who's getting the playing time?
That's not.
How many years, dude?
It was like a 5-year deal.
That's $5 million a year.
No. 35 per year, bro.
No.
Yes.
Taysom Hill,
$35 million per year. That's why we talked about this. Immediately following that, I felt 100% better about paying Dak Prescott $40 million.
Hill's new deal is 4 years and $140 million. Just reports that the contract includes a $9.7 million signing bonus and a $1.44 million guaranteed roster bonus and a $1.034 million salary plus incentive.
They're paying him $140 million over 4 years.
Yeah, a lot of it's not guaranteed.
It doesn't matter. He is the starting quarterback as long as he's on that roster. I'm telling you that right now. So yeah, with him at quarterback, I am not a fan of Michael Thomas.
I mean, Michael Thomas, the majority of his work is close work anyway, which takes him help him get the ball that close.
Is Dak Prescott a top 15 quarterback?
Absolutely.
Okay, so CeeDee Lamb has Dak Prescott.
We're-
The ball.
So I'm going to
Who
call
else is gonna
timeout
be
here.
thrown to
I'm
Michael
going to call
Thomas?
timeout because we're talking fantasy football.
Yes, we are.
So let's quit saying top 15 because we don't draft 15 teams. We draft for RB1s, RB2s. So we're talking top 12, aren't we?
Okay. So Dak top 12.
He still is top 12,
Yes.
but I'm correcting you.
Yeah, and fantasy Dak.
Tyson Hill maybe because he can run and throw and whatever else they decide to do with him.
I mean, Prescott was on track for 6,000 yards last year.
Dak is like my QB4 and QB5.
And you got Post Malone talking about the song. So he's legit.
Post Malone grew up like
I'm picking on you, Jake. I knew you were going to take offense to that.
taking offense.
Okay, so Sean, do you have any beefs with the bust or the do not draft list?
No, they all pretty much seem like bust.
Who do you think's the best one on the list? If you had to have
If I was to pick a talent, if I was to
Yes.
pick out a group, probably DeAndre Swift. As much as I don't like Detroit, I honestly like the talent that Swift has.
I would say, we just talked about my fantasy football criteria, which is durability
Mm-mm.
and how much time you can touch the football. And David Montgomery checks both those boxes. He's durable and he's going to touch the
I don't-
rock
He
20
is
times a year.
Tarico is going to take a big part of the pass.
That's one thing. He's coming back this year. Tariq
Well, they had
Cohen.
another running back last year that was getting the receiver.
Yeah, he's not Tariq Cohen. Cohen was designed to be their number one.
He
They
should
wanted
get
him
at least
to.
15 touches.
The catch with Montgomery is the
Yeah,
first
no, I
half of the
don't-
year he was great. The second half of the year, or the first half of the year, he was horrible. The second half of the year, he was great. But if you looked at who he was playing the bottom half of the defenses.
I think that was the whole Bears team, though. They started playing great late in the season.
Correct.
Like they went like.
But it was the
0-0
competition.
something.
It was
Yeah.
more competition than anything.
So
I don't trust him. It's the best way to say it.
that's just when I look at that list. That's who I would want off of that list, right?
Montgomery is close for me with Swift. Like
Galladay's clearly the best player on the list. He's just going to a really crappy team. So we're
His
just like,
quarterback. You have to have a quarterback.
he's
throwing
got
the ball.
Danny Dimes throwing the football, who doesn't throw the football consistently
along when you have Saquon Barkley, who's going to have so much volume in that offense, and
until he gets hurt in week 2. I'm just saying.
you can't like plan for that to happen until
Only
it
Dak
happens.
gets hurt a week too. Again.
Okay, but Dak's been hurt once. Saquon's hurt every year.
What if Zeke sucks?
Every Then Tony Pollard's going to come in the game.
You're not paying.
What
Tony
about
Pollard
one
how much
person
money.
who wasn't on the list that is a do not draft in your book? Based on their like current level, like they're projected to be QB7 or whatever, like not like if they're sitting there in round 15, you would draft them obviously, but
Right. Well, yeah.
somebody who's overvalued. Jake, we'll start with you, Mr. Champion.
I'm thinking. I don't have high hopes for Tyler Lockett at all this year, just because
That's like
he had like 3 games last year that was like 60% of his touchdowns.
He definitely was a hit or miss.
And
He's always a hitter.
for me, I don't want to put him in to have 4 weeks of like 8 or below points for them to go off for like 40
I
plus.
really like that. But I'm being honest, I think
like
DK
that.
is a beast. They just drafted another receiver that everybody's talking about.
I finally like DK. I think DK for fantasy is like top 8 for sure.
DK wasn't the first round pick either. He was a later round.
No.
guy.
No, DK. He was
Third
either
round?
no. He was either early second or late first. DK Metcalf. I
didn't
remember
think he
this
was.
because he slipped. He was supposed to be a first round pick.
Right. I thought he was
He
a
didn't,
second
he
or
didn't
third
get
round.
super good until the beginning of last year. So
Correct, but
which
in
would have been
college,
after our draft.
in college, he was on. I want to say he was one of those Alabama receivers.
Not
and
Alabama.
It was,
He was from
was it Ole Miss?
Ole
then?
Miss, yes.
But he was with AJ Brown. Him and AJ Brown came out together. They had all the shots of them. No,
AJ Brown's
massive.
better. AJ Brown's better. He just is.
The DK?
Absolutely.
They're close.
Absolutely.
I would.
Absolutely.
I would
AJ
rather have DK. He is a physical specimen.
AJ Brown is too, and AJ Brown can run routes, and he's better. I think he's better after the catch.
DK is good enough to be a track star, and he's built like Terrell Owens. I'm just saying, the guy is a beast. I would want DK. I would trade just about any receiver on my team for DK Metcalf, and I think we're receiver level.
And you wouldn't trade anyone on your team for AJ Brown because you're crazy.
No, probably not.
AJ is like my number 6.
AJ Brown would be the third receiver.
Metcalf was at the end of the second round.
And the second.
60
Okay, that's why the second, third round.
64. No,
That
literally,
just-
when I say end, I mean 64.
That just proves that you can skip a first round receiver and pick up.
I actually think AJ Brown.
Oh, you
what
should
we were
be
just
skipping
talking
first
about,
round receiver.
I still think he's a second rounder. To be honest with you, he may have been into the first round, but he was not as early as they thought either.
Yeah.
You seriously think AJ Brown will be the number 3 wide
Number
receiver
3. He
in
beat
Dallas?
Michael Gallup. That's it.
He would not beat CD or Amari Cooper.
No.
Dude,
AJ Brown, round 2, pick 51.
There you go.
Sean, would you like to chime in on this?
Me and you have already had this conversation that I think DJ Metcalf's a beast.
We're talking about in Dallas.
In Dallas,
I
Ian
said he'd be
saying-
the third receiver in Dallas, and he would be
No, he won't.
100%.
How can you say that?
Number one,
you-
anybody who gets given the 88 jersey is automatically gonna get the rock.
Receiver.
He's gonna get the rock. He's gonna get the rock more than anybody on the team.
So because of his number,
And Amari Cooper is legit unguardable. He's legit unguardable. He has the quickest.
but CD's better.
Yeah, CD's more talented, but Amari Cooper has the quickest route running I've ever seen from a big receiver.
Amari Cooper is great. I love Amari Cooper. I think Amari Cooper is not super far behind AJ Brown.
I will give you another explosion. Amari Cooper will not be on the Dallas Cowboys next year.
I agree.
He's under contract, but he will not be on the Dallas Cowboys next year.
CD Lamb's going to start getting too much volume, and they're not going to want to pay Cooper.
CeeDee Lamb is on a rookie deal, and he's going to be as good, if not better than Cooper this year.
That's
And Michael Gallup's deal is expiring, and they love Michael Gallup. They want to keep Michael Gallup
why
over
haven't they
Amari
thrown
Cooper.
the ball to him? Last year in fantasy, I spent like a 4th round pick on Gallup.
Gallup's
Did
awesome.
not work.
Gallup is awesome. He's a great receiver. He really is, and he was like a 3rd or 4th round pick. So, so you can get good talent late in the draft. That receiver.
Juju, second round pick.
That was. I do not have high hopes for Juju this year.
Age,
Juju's a great number 2. He's not a good number 1.
call it 8.
I don't
Antonio
think
Brown.
anyone says
What was he?
great.
6th round? Antonio Brown, AB.
Oh, getting drafted? Yeah, 6th round.
Michigan.
Fifth
I
Sixth
was
round.
Western
Fifth or
Michigan.
sixth?
Six. No, it was 6.
Okay.
It was 6. Emmanuel Sanders went before him.
Yeah, they drafted both of them the same
The same
time.
year. Yep. They were the part of the money crew. With what was our speed guy at the time?
Mike
Antonio
Wallace?
Holmes.
Well, that's it. Wallace. No,
I was
Wallace.
saying Antonio Holmes.
No, Holmes was already
So,
gone.
yeah, Holmes.
So was Wallace.
Okay.
Remember, he could only run
I
straight.
used to love Michael Holmes, like when I was little.
Mike
you
Wallace
remember
is
that
fun to
if you-
watch.
If you asked him to run corner routes or wides, he
Yeah.
couldn't do it. All you had to do is Wallace, run.
Okay, so getting back on topic here. I like your pick with Met or Lockett, right? So who do you think is a
Man, we got
do not draft based on where they're ranked?
We're gonna go quarterback and tell you Lamar Jackson.
Considering I cut him halfway through the year, I guess I could agree with that.
I used him for a playoff game that got me the dub.
Good. I hope you get
One week,
belt.
Watson had a bad matchup, and Lamar played great.
I'm glad
He
that
did in the second half of the year. He had a decent second half
I'm
of the
glad
year.
that it got you the belt.
I disagree with this pick.
I'm sure you do. I just don't feel confident in him. I don't think he is that great at throwing the ball, to be honest with you.
Lamar's right behind Dak and fantasy keepers. He's my number 5 on my list. And I got, Murray Allen and Mahomes above him, which, I mean,
Once again, I'm talking about where I would draft him. Where did you draft Lamar last year?
First round.
Okay.
Late first round.
oh, what?
I needed a quarterback. Late first round.
Where did I
You
take
needed
Where did I take Kyler Murray?
I don't even know.
Which quarterback was better last year?
Yeah, but nobody knew Kyler Murray was going to.
How did I know him? And I took him in the 5th round.
Lamar was legit putting up 70 points a week.
How did I take him in the 5th
70
round?
points a week.
That's why you're saving Raheem Mostert.
I'm keeping Raheem Mostert because I need a running back. Wait, no,
Early rounds are for good
We're
running
staying on
backs.
topic.
He's saving Aaron Jones and Saquon Barkley. I'm
We're-
saving Henry.
We're going to
You're
talk
saving
about
Raheem
keepers.
Mostert.
We're going to talk about keepers. Let's get that, okay? And we will get into my team and how atrocious my team is to start the year. And I will fix it by the end of the year. Okay, so here's my thing with Lamar. I think he is going to be the new guy that when you keep it, he's a great quarterback
Oh, yeah.
versus shitty teams. So you need 2 quarterbacks on your roster. Somebody like
I didn't have 2. I only
Yeah.
picked up one that I needed.
I know.
And it was
but
Justin Herbert. And then I traded him to
Hang
you
on,
for
listen,
Tyreek Hill.
listen.
Thanks.
Can I get my theory across here?
I forget you did that.
Here's my theory here. Okay, you keep Lamar and whenever he's playing a crappy team, you play Lamar, and then you have like somebody you can get late in the draft who's going to be solid, like Tannehill. Like Tannehill. And then anytime that Lamar's up against a Baltimore, a Pittsburgh, somebody with a really good defense, then you take Lamar out and you put Tannehill in line. That is the strategy with having Lamar Jackson. He is a keeper. He is a keeper.
Well, you're telling him he hasn't.
Unless you're loaded at running back and you can keep 3 running backs.
Would you keep Lamar Jackson over Travis Kelce or Justin Jefferson?
No. But who's the third keeper there?
Henry.
Yeah, maybe not on your team exactly, but you won the championship. Okay. On my team,
was shitty, dude.
On my team, if you
really
take Dak off my team, he's probably a keeper.
On my team, he was the second best quarterback.
Right.
So, Kyler Murray, and I'm not keeping Kyler Murray.
I'm just saying. So I somewhat agree with your pick that he is overvalued, but I think if you play him strategically,
once again, are we going by value though?
Yes.
Where are you seeing him valued at? Like QB2, QB3, QB4?
No, he could be a QB1, a top 12 guy.
Nobody's putting him.
But the problem is he's going to get drafted in the first 3 rounds, and I don't mean in ours. I mean in typical keeper league.
I don't know.
In typical redraft, he's a 3 to 5. He's a pick 3rd to 5th round pick.
I think,
and I wouldn't take him until round 8.
Yeah,
there's many quarterbacks I would look at before him. The only value he has to me is he can run the ball.
I don't like taking quarterbacks before the 5th round unless they're like crazy good. Which like you taking Lamar in the first, like last year, I could see you taking him in like the 4th.
It was the end of the first. All the good running backs are gone, and you got to know my long-term draft history is that I always wait too long to get a quarterback, and then I'm always kicking myself. Right? I wanted Mahomes. Mahomes is gone.
Oh, yeah.
Mahomes
How
went
did
like
2
6.
quarterbacks go in the first
because
round?
some of our people in our league are retarded, including myself.
At least you pointed that out.
So, anyways, I'm not going to get into why I drafted him. Okay, I'm going to say that if I'm going off of our draft, now meanwhile, folks, we are in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. If you don't know us, in our draft, Ben Roethlisberger will get drafted way too high.
Not this year.
He shouldn't get drafted. Period.
Massimo is in our league. And Laura Jackson in our league. He's going to get
James Washington. James Washington.
I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it right now. Ben Roethlisberger will be off the board by round 4.
Ooh.
That's sad, and he's way overvalued in our league. He's way overvalued. In most, like if we just go broad spectrum, who's overvalued? I'm gonna call out your boy Kyler Murray. He's gonna get way too much attention this year. He's gonna be way too high on draft boards. And I think he's going to take a big step back.
I so bad want to take a whiskey bet on the Ben Roethlisberger. Call if he'll get drafted by the 4th round. I so bad do, but you're not wrong about our league.
4th, you know it's
right. You're not. He's not. The problem is he's not wrong about something.
Oh wait, this is like a 7th round normal. Oh yeah, he will.
Most people aren't keeping quarterbacks. He is, but most people aren't. We got Prescott.
But my roster was atrocious last year, so I am keeping Dak Prescott. Yes,
I will probably take a quarterback by the 4th round in our because that's like
I may take one in the first 2. To be honest with you, just depending on who it is, because that technically you just said it. It's a 5th, 4th, 5th round pick, depending on who I'm going for.
Kyler Murray's probably QB3, QB4 on the rankings.
He's my QB3.
Okay, he's your QB3. I think it's way over. I think he's going to finish like QB7 or 8.
Why is that?
I just think he's going to take a lot of these quarterbacks after their big breakout year. Lamar,
that's one.
Dak Prescott, his 2nd year.
Lamar,
you don't think about Herbert. I'm feeling that on Herbert.
Lamar can't throw the ball. There's the difference. He can't throw the ball.
What do we know about NFL defenses? Okay, they will spend all offseason trying to figure out how to stop something. Right.
That's what they did.
And don't get me wrong. I think Kyler's the next Russ Wilson. I think that Kyler will be a very, very good long-term quarterback. I think this year he's going to regress, take a step back. He's probably going to battle some injuries again because he's their mobile quarterback, and that's what happened. And he doesn't have a big frame. I don't like his frame.
Russell Wilson-esque.
But Russell Wilson,
shoulder's fixed. Before his shoulder injury, he was so good.
He was number 1.
He was QB1 in fantasy.
He also played teams like the Cowboys who had the worst defense.
Oh, but you guys are going to win the NFC East by 4.
Right? That's another podcast. No, but the Cowboys defense last year was atrocious, and he lit us up.
This year going to be better.
Yes, we are.
Mm.
We are going to be better. We're not going to be top
Actually,
10.
I like you. I like taking Micah Parsons out like what
We're
they're
top,
like.
we're top 20 defense now.
What'd you
Last year we were like 32nd for most of the season. Okay, we're going to improve double. We're going to be 2x on that. So, not to get too much in the Cowboys, but that's my pick. I think that Kyler Murray is overvalued. If I saw him sitting there in a normal draft in round 5, I would be totally comfortable with that. I think he's going to go in round.
Well, that's why I
3.
took him last year, if you remember.
I know, but this is this year. I think he's going to go around 2 or 3 in most leagues, and I think that's too high. So that's my.
I think 2 or 3 is too high for any quarterback, but I think in terms of quarterbacks, I don't think he's too overvalued. I think quarterbacks in general are.
Here's just to tell you my mindset. Last year, this was the draft. I ended up getting Kyler Murray in the 5th round, and I had him. I had Lamar, and I had Mahomes as my top 3 guys that I was looking for on the board. Those were my top 3 guys last year. And in my mind, Mahomes I was willing to take in the 2nd round. Lamar I was willing to take in the 3rd round. And Kyler was in the 5th round. Kyler was the only one that slipped to where I was
Lamar
willing
would
to.
not have gotten to my 2nd round pick. Remember?
Well,
I
you
was
had
the
back to
last-
back. Yeah, you had back to
But
back.
I'm saying the next round pick.
No,
But he
no,
might have been my
probably-
2nd. I can't remember who my. He was
did
one
you
of my
draft?
first 2 picks. So that was the last pick.
Who else did you take?
I don't remember.
Here's the
My
only
team
way,
was atrocious. So
here's the
don't
only way I can say this is I had number 2 pick in that draft. I took
Was
Saquon.
it CD?
The second round, Luke Brown, I may have slipped if Lamar was still there at that pick, right before the beginning of the 3rd round. I may have slipped and taken him there, maybe just because I had Brandon in front of me, and I know Brandon knows how to pick a team, and I know he may have slipped in there with 2 picks in a row, back and forth.
You
With
really,
it?
you really think Lamar has that high of value?
Not this year.
Not
Yeah,
this
not
year.
No,
this
but
year.
last year he
It
was
the
so
running.
highly
It was
rated.
the running. It was
You
the
were
running.
getting a running back
The
and
running.
a quarterback at the same
That's
time.
why I wanted Kyler. That's why those 3 guys were my top guys.
I loved Lamar last year, and
Mhm.
now I love Lamar, but just a little less.
See, I don't love him this year. I
Don't
saw
love
what
him
he
still.
was, and he can't throw.
But let's talk about the same website has a list of breakout candidates for this year.
Okay.
Champion, we're gonna start with you.
We just talking rookies, or what are we?
No,
talking
breakout players. Cam Akers,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Najee Harris,
Yep.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Can you
Yeah.
call that a breakout? He had a really good rookie.
No, he
People are
did
putting
not.
him down though. That's
See,
the
like
catch.
Akers was good the last 3 games of the year.
I'm
Yeah, but
super
he was
high
injured.
on
He was
Akers.
injured.
I
a
love
lot at the
Akers.
beginning.
J.K. Dobbins.
For sure.
I actually think here's my catch. I like J.K. Dobbins, and I'll tell you right now, I would take him if he's available in the draft, depending on who's there. But I think he's overvalued because of what team he plays for.
I hate how they use it.
It's-
Similar to New England. They are whoever's hot gets the
Who's
ball.
the other? Yeah,
They
Gus
run
Edwards.
so
He's going to get the ball.
Dobbins is still going to be the primary rusher on such a run heavy
No,
team.
no. Lamar Jackson is going to be the primary rusher on it.
And then J.K. Dobbins.
Then
Really?
Edwards.
Do you think
Then
Lamar will
Gus
have more
Edwards.
carries than J.K. Dobbins?
No, but Lamar can dictate that. He can run from the pocket if he wants.
I don't think he will. I think Lamar's going to throw the ball a lot
Yes,
more
he
this
will
year.
have more. He will have
Really?
more rushes than J.K. Dobbins because Gus Edwards is going to take J.K.
That's true.
I don't
JK.
know. Well, that takes away
It's
from
going to be
Lamar as
Lamar
well.
getting 12 rushes a game.
Yeah, but Lamar's not coming up. the
Dobbins
field.
Dobbins is going to get 10 a game, and Gus is going to get 5.
Dobbins won't a whole lot. I don't know how much of a presence Edwards will.
I
Terry
think it's
Terry
64.
McLaurin.
Oh,
I
with
like-
Fitzmagic
I like McLaurin.
and no,
Oh, look who's on the list. CeeDee Lamb. Interesting.
he's under McLaurin, not at
Jamar
your
Chase.
value.
Jamar Chase.
No, I disagree there.
Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, I'm not.
Sort of agree. I think Debo Samuel sucks this year. So
Jalen Hurts.
no,
I heard his
really-
linemen are loving him right now.
I
Irv Smith. Tight end
Six-
for the
the
Vikings.
Minnesota. That's right.
That's the breakout list. So Champ?
Irv Smith is super talented, and if the Vikings were not so run oriented and had top 20 wide receivers, then I think he would be. But he's just not going to be able to see the volume with all that in their offense.
So who do you not like on this list? And then who would you add to this list?
Jalen Hurts, I really do not. I don't trust him.
I agree with
I
that.
don't like Brandon Ayuk.
I mean, he's throwing the ball to young players. None of them are proven.
Jalen Hurts would be my second one. I don't trust, but I don't like Brandon Ayuk.
You don't like? I like
See,
Brandon Ayuk just because
The problem with Ayuk is that the top 3 options in that offense were injured the entire season, basically. Like
Yeah, Kittle right off the bat. That's
Kittle,
number
what's
one.
the other receiver that they
Debo Samuel.
Debo was
Debo
injured
Samuel.
most of the season.
I don't think Debo's going to do too well this year.
and Mozart who touched the ball a
And
lot was
then you also have to
Trey
calculate.
Sermon's looking pretty good this
You
year.
also have to calculate what's Jimmy Garoppolo going to be this year. What's Trey Lance going to be this year? in that
I'm
system.
super high on Trey Lance, but not
Oh,
this
I like
year.
Trey Lance.
I like.
Well, that was interesting, guys. We lost power for about 30 seconds. Thankfully, we record on Zoom, and Zoom kept our progress. So
Thanks, Zoom.
Thanks, Zoom. We're gonna go
Should we say
over.
thanks to Anchor too? They technically pay us something.
Yeah, but Anchor didn't do anything for us right now. Zoom did, even
But
though they don't
pay
pay
us under the table.
Thank you, Anchor, for our like $1.32 you paid us so far this year. Okay,
Just saying,
so you said you would remove Jalen Hurts from the list. You said Brandon Ayuk, and I would probably out of this list.
No.
I don't know who I would remove. I think they're all pretty solid. I would probably agree with Sean and take Brandon Ayuk off or Irv Smith because I don't know. Like Kirk Cousins just is not consistent with throwing to the tight end. He never has been.
I mean, Kyle Rudolph had.
Well, he had Vernon Davis. Wait, hold on. When he was in Washington, he had Vernon Davis. That was his
Jordan
big
Reed?
weapon.
No. You're thinking about Vernon Davis in the 49ers. Vernon Davis did nothing for Washington.
I think you're thinking Jordan Reed.
Jordan
You're
Reed.
thinking
No,
about
I'm thinking Jordan Reed. I'm
You
thinking
think about Jordan Reed, who
Yes.
had like one good season, and that was a mixture
He had
of.
2 or 3. He was good for a little
No,
bit.
I was going to say he had a multiple.
But some of that was
before he got injured.
what's the quarterback that got hurt? That's
RG3?
RG3. Robert
Was
Griffin.
that RG3? I
Some
thought that was
of
all
that was
Kirk.
RG3.
I thought
for sure.
Kirk, him, and Jamison Crowder had a little bit of a run there.
Jamison Crowder in Washington?
Yeah.
Okay, so he
I
had
do not
maybe
remember.
1 or 2 seasons where he threw the tight end consistently out of his 9-year career. So I'm not. I would probably lean towards Ayuk. I just think that Ayuk was like the 5th wide receiver. He just got elevated because of injuries, right?
Okay.
And the 5th wide receiver can get bumped from a team any day of the week. So
How is he the 5th wide receiver? Who else is in San Francisco's receiving chart besides Debo Samuel, who Ayuk is
Debo
better
Samuel, Kittle's the receiver. Let's just be honest here. Kittle's the receiver.
than? Okay, well he's a tight end. So we're gonna call Kelsey the number 1 wide receiver on Kansas City. We're gonna call Waller the number 1 wide receiver in Vegas.
Yeah, if they get balls, I'm going to call him a receiver. They're pass catching tight end.
Okay,
I'm saying
so-
he's the 5th option in the offense.
he is the 2nd option
the 2nd
behind
Who?
Kittle. Absolutely.
You think he's better than Debo? Because Debo's a beast when he's healthy.
I think he is better than I think
Ah.
Debo's gonna regress
Well,
this year.
This is why we all have our opinions.
I'm
right?
agreeing. I hate this. I'm agreeing with Hoover about the defense.
We never agree. Hey, we finally agree on something. Who would you add to this list, champion?
Mike Davis, I'm super high on. I think he's gonna get a lot of volume in Atlanta and especially in the red zone.
This is why I was looking at my phone because I knew that's where he was going to go with this, and I wanted to find somebody different.
Okay.
You like Mike
Who's
Davis?
your
Oh,
brand?
I like Mike Davis. Yeah, pretty much. He just realized what we actually have this recording. He literally just realized.
Have you liked Mike Davis, or did I spark something?
No, you didn't spark
He
anything.
talked about Mike
Okay.
Davis a couple weeks
You didn't spark anything. I've liked Mike
We
Davis
should- we
for the
think
same
alike.
for the same reason you do. He's a guy that has no backup. He's going to be sole carrier of the ball out
They're
there.
watching the same YouTube videos.
So nonetheless, I just enjoy that that's on record. That he just got recorded with
So
the
Sean
desperate.
has. So me and Sean faced in the championship last year. So he has the 11th pick, and I have the 12th pick.
So you're not getting your boy. Start thinking of a new
Well,
would you
I
add?
mean, no, there's so many running backs there that are like right around.
You think that
time.
when we get that time point, you don't know how many other people would need a running back at this point.
There's
before
a
us.
lot of running backs in that area that I think Mostert is pretty far below. Mostert's like
All right.
23
We're
on my
going to
board.
talk about keepers. Stop
So-
talking about my keepers.
So again, back on topic, guys. I like number 1 is a receiver in Denver is Jerry Jeudy behind Cortland Sutton. If the quarterback can kick in and they actually produce out there, Jerry Jeudy is a beast.
Okay. I like that.
There was
You're
another.
only supposed to do one, so
I know.
that's your one.
Okay.
I'm
You need
limiting
somebody
you.
to talk about it.
What's that?
You
Yeah,
need
you
somebody
might
to
take
talk
some. No,
about
you're not gonna take one. Actually, the funny thing is, I have somebody on your team I really like who I think is gonna have a breakout year.
My team?
On your team
Oh.
that I like, that's gonna have a breakout year. But before I get into that breakout player, I'm going to reiterate what I talked about last year. That should have been a breakout player, but he got hurt week 1, and that's on my team. That's Blake Jarwin. He's gonna be a beast this year.
Excuse me? Who?
Blake Jarwin.
Who is that?
He's our starting tight end. He's our starting tight end. He's going to have a really good year.
The Cowboys crowded as hell offense. He's going to be like the
He's
seventh option, bro.
Here's the catch. He's a safety net.
Yeah,
Quarterbacks
Dak
like
likes
tight
the
ends.
tight
He's a
end.
safety net.
Dak likes the tight end.
Look at Ben with
even
Miller
once
when
he
he's
got-
had the right tight ends.
Even once he got hurt, Dalton Schultz did really well under Dak. The offense,
Yeah, is Dalton Schultz no longer there?
yeah, he's still there, but
You don't
he's,
think
he's Jarwin's backup
what makes you say that?
Because it's actually accurate.
because it's
on the depth
accurate.
chart.
Let me tell you right now,
What
Dalton
is
Schultz.
Blake Jarwin? Is he a rookie last year?
No. He was a second or third.
And then he
year
got
guy.
injured.
He got injured. He got a $25 million contract and then got injured.
What?
Here's the thing. What you don't know, because you don't watch enough Cowboys, is that Jason Witten should have been benched the last 2 years because of Blake Jarwin. Okay. Blake Jarwin finally gets his new contract. He finally gets his starting position. He got hurt literally first game of the year against the Rams. Jarwin can run a 4.5 40. He's 6'6". He's got hands. He is really, really talented.
Is he a blocking tight end at all?
No, he doesn't block at all. He does not block.
You're looking at like
Dalton Schultz doesn't block either, but I can tell you right now, Dalton Schultz probably runs a slower 40 time than I do, and he can catch, but so can Jarwin. So they'll get Dalton Schultz involved a little bit. I think they'll play a lot of Dalton Schultz at fullback. I think they'll put him in the fullback spot from time to time. But Jarwin's going to have a breakout year. But the guy who I actually really like and who I'm hoping to sneak in the late rounds of the draft, I think James Washington's going to have a really good year. I think that offense is going to get their running game back.
You do know he's the number 4 guy, right?
I know. And I think he's going to get elevated throughout the year. I think that I'm not very big on Juju. I think Juju's going to continue to kind of downgrade himself a little bit. Plus, he's on a 1-year deal, so they want to see what else is there.
They did that 1
And
year
plus,
deal.
we
because of
met
that.
him, and he was a really nice guy. So maybe I just want him to.
Oh, I'm not fighting you on that.
Yeah,
one.
maybe I just want him to be a breakout guy. But I think that James Washington will at least double his production over last year. So
Yeah.
if you can sneak him in the late rounds of the draft or pick him up as a free agent later on if you need wide receiver depth, I think he's going to have a good year.
Here's a true middle round guy, because neither one of you said him, and it was my other guy, and I was waiting. Mecole Hardman.
That KC
Sammy
offense.
Watkins is out of there though. He's now the number 2 guy.
Yeah.
So he's now actually
Well,
going
who's
to
the
get
other?
targets.
Who's the other little fast dude?
Pringle.
They're all
Tyreek Hill. It's
Pringle.
No, Hardman's going to be above
No,
Pringle.
Hardman's
but
going to be the number 2 guy.
Well, what
he's
I'm
a
saying
speed
is
guy.
Pringle's there.
The problem that
Pringle's
I
gonna
have
see
with that
targets.
Chiefs offense, with the exception of Kelsey and Hill, I felt like every week it was a different guy that stepped up to make
The problem was
plays.
Sammy Watkins never stepped up.
Sammy was pretty solid.
When Tyreek wouldn't play, he was solid. Everybody else would mix in, like DeMarcus Robinson.
I think he's
Yeah.
gonna be a boomer bust guy. I think he's gonna get 20 points 1 week and go 2 weeks with 5 points.
We'll see.
I don't hate that though. Like,
I don't hate it. I think
Yeah.
I mean he's a good
He's
player.
going to be a middle of the round guy.
I think that he's eventually going to be the replacement for Tyreek Hill when they're done paying him, and Hill slides a little bit, like gets a little slower, isn't getting open.
Yeah, but
They're like the same age.
there's only a 2-year difference in age between the two of them.
Yeah, so he's going to be getting to his peak right as Hill's getting out of his peak. I like it. I think that he's going to be that guy. And he's the same type of
Yeah, he's
they're all the
build.
same. They're
He
all
is-
5'11", 5'10",
speed
fast.
guys. They're all
Yeah,
speed guys.
That's
He is-
their whole offense.
I mean, look at Edwards Hilaire. He's 5'11", and he's a speed guy at running back. They're all the same except for Kelsey. Kelsey is their big body.
Kelsey's the number 1
Who
target
still can
there.
run.
He's better than Tyreek, I think.
More consistent, yes.
If you want to base it off position, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
you guys want to keep bashing me for the keeper situation. So just
because
so
they are.
people, hang on. People listening at home need to understand the situation right now. We have a keeper league. We're allowed to keep 3 players. This is the first year of our keepers, so it's not like we've had 10 years to build up our keeper list, right?
Nope, this is season 2.
This is season 2, so this is literally the first time we've kept anybody. My team, again, I drafted Lamar with one of my first picks, and I cut him halfway through the year.
Man, that was a swing and miss.
Yeah, swing and miss. I had a couple injuries. And then, the big thing is I have a lot of up-and-coming players that I think are going to be good, but, I'm trying to go with the most potential to be good, which is why Mostert is my third pick. And I don't want to keep – I would keep Galladay, but I don't want to keep that many receivers. So
Who else are you keeping besides Mr. and CD?
I'm keeping Dak,
Yeah.
who was thank you, Massimo, got dropped halfway through the year because he got hurt, and I stashed him on my IR spot and kept him. And I know you're going to bash on CeeDee Lamb, however,
No, on your team, I think you personally are. I think he should be a keeper on your team. But you saying that A.J. Brown would be the number 3 wide receiver in Dallas's offense behind Amari Cooper.
We're not talking about that.
We're talking about keepers now.
We're talking about keepers. Stay on track here, buddy.
You just know it was stupid and don't want it to be brought up.
No, I don't know.
There's probably some truth to that.
No, it's not
A.J.
stupid.
Brown is like the number 6 wide receiver in the league, dude.
AJ Brown
Amari
is a
Cooper
very
is
talented guy who is on a team with no talent, and he gets everything. Okay, Amari Cooper has talent all over the place and still gets 1,300 yards. CeeDee Lamb is going to be a 1,300-yard receiver this year. That's what you guys
crowded
understand.
offense. And,
Yeah.
Amari Cooper's going to do great. Michael Gallup's going to do great. Zeke's going to do
No,
great.
Gallup is
Blake
not going to do
Jarwin.
great. I'm not saying Gallup is going to do great. I'm saying they're going to keep Gallup over Amari Cooper next year.
You realize there can only be so much in one offense.
Hang on. Let me just tell you right now, okay? Now, the receivers were all healthy through the through the first five games. Dak Prescott was healthy. CeeDee Lamb had 5 targets. This was his first game. 5 targets, 6 catches, 59 yards. Not great. Atlanta, 9 targets, 6 catches, 106 yards. Seattle, 7 targets, 5 catches, 65. He's a rookie, right? Now you get to Cleveland. 7 targets, 5 catches, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then the last game where Dak got hurt, he had 11 targets, 8 catches, 124 yards. The guy is going to get
He was on
tons
pace.
of action.
He was on pace for a big year.
He still had almost 1,000 yards as a rookie with Andy Dalton and Ben DiNucci throwing him the football.
Antonucci was in for one.
By the way, usually
Garrett Gilbert was in for one game. Okay,
And
Andy Dalton was
you
in for
have faith
a
in
bunch
the
of games.
organization that started those people at quarterback.
I know for a fact with my organization, when they offer a retired jersey number to a player in a certain position, that player is now number 1 on the roster, no matter what. CeeDee Lamb will get more targets, more catches, more yards, more touchdowns than Amari Cooper this year.
He shouldn't.
He's going to, though, because they're going to force feed him the rock. They will force feed CeeDee Lamb the rock.
Because
he's jinxing CD Lamb as we speak.
The only way that doesn't happen is CeeDee Lamb gets injured, and I probably jinxed him. So
He's
it's fine.
jinxing him as we speak, which is why I'm laughing.
And I'm telling you right
you
now,
think CeeDee Lamb's better than Amari Cooper? Really?
I think that he's going to be more of a highlight reel, which is what Jerry Jones likes. I personally
Jerry
think
Jones doesn't call the plays.
He hires the people who calls the plays.
Jerry Jones puts the
Think so.
people in place that are going to execute the game plan that Jerry Jones wants to be done. Okay.
I don't think they would really take big play CeeDee Lamb value over Amari Cooper consistency and amazing route running.
But that's the great thing about it is they work well together.
In the
Amari
5 games
Cooper-
you saw.
No, all season. Amari Cooper is a very selfless player. He's not an ego. He does not talk, I want the ball, I need the ball, whatever. He's cool with getting 2 catches or 10 catches as long as they win the game. He just wants paid and he wants to win. Those are the 2 things that Amari Cooper wants. And Cooper is one of the best route runners in the business, right?
Absolutely.
So Cooper's going to be getting those 15-yard slants as CeeDee's getting the over-the-top action. I'm telling you right now, CeeDee Lamb will have 1,300 yards, 10-plus touchdowns as long as he's healthy.
Let's look back on this and
It's all recorded.
It's all recorded. As our show is, it's all recorded. Unless
There's
the
been-
power goes out
There's
again.
been enough
It's all
sets me
recorded.
and him
Same
have had
person
about
who
Texans.
drafted Lamar Jackson in the first round last year saying this.
Same person who
So,
won the championship the year before with a bunch
Same-
of misfits because my team was injury prone and I just drafted everything.
Who
Now,
won last
to
year?
stand up for the rest of my keepers, Dak is a no-brainer keeper on my team because you saw my roster.
I don't like keeping quarterbacks, but yeah.
And then I wanted to keep a running back, okay? I have Moser, injury prone. Gaskins, injury prone. Damian Harris, the offense scares me, right? Burkhead gets carries. They just do running back by committee, and there's no
Cam
rhyme or
Newton
reason.
rushes in the red zone all the time anyway.
I'm honestly, I'm not saying much because I'm sitting back here listening to you, and I think your 3 keepers are for your team are correct.
If
but
I had
that's because your team sucks.
I think Gaskin's better than Mostert for sure this year.
Yeah, but Gaskins was hurt too, and that Ahmed came out really well, and they just signed that dude from the Rams, Malcolm Brown.
I think Gaskin is.
It's a crowded backfield. Moser is gonna get his 10 to 20 carries. He's gonna
Trey Sermon.
San Fran loves Trey Sermon. Trey
doesn't
Sermon.
matter.
I love Trey Sermon.
San Fran with Coleman they always sprinkle
Devin
him in.
Coleman's in New Jersey.
Moser will get his
Coleman's
10 to
okay.
15. What's that? No, I'm saying that Coleman was in the offense. They had another running back that got touches.
McKinnon as well.
McKinnon. He was in the offense. Whenever he was healthy, he got touches. They spread him out. Kyle Shanahan likes to run a multiple running back system, and Moser is a home run hitter. He will hit home runs. He had like 3 80-yard rushes in 2 years, okay? He will hit home runs. He will score touchdowns as long as he stays healthy. And they're all my running backs, with the exception of Damian Harris, all my running backs are injury prone. So I had to choose somebody.
It seems like you're going for a really boomer bust season because trending your players is not consistent.
I'm going to go for a really good draft, and I'm going to hope that Moser he's my one boomer bust player that I'm keeping. The other 2 are going to be very
How is
consistent
Dak,
players.
a keeper quarterback who played 5 games last season, how is that not boomer bust?
That's not boomer bust. He's
fantasy-wise consistent other than injury
He's a
last
top
year.
5 quarterback.
I can't.
Fantasy quarterback. Top 5
Okay,
fantasy quarterback.
I think a top 5 fantasy quarterback as a keeper is boomer
Again,
bust.
what do you-
I
are
think
you
you guys are
once
wrong.
again,
Are you going to keep Galladay over Dak Prescott?
Once again,
That's the only other potential keeper I have.
Not in New York, I won't. No.
Okay. He's got Danny
Can I
Downs.
call timeout real quick?
Are you going to keep Gaskins over Prescott?
I would keep him over Mostert.
Can I call timeout here because he made me a trade for somebody who would have been his number 1 keeper easily
Oh, yeah.
for 2 guys that he's gonna not.
I had no depth. Okay. I was trying to make the playoffs. I had to do something.
You knew it was
He
a keeper
gave.
league.
By the way,
You
so
can
everybody
retire
realizes
though.
this because this goes into my keepers, which one of them is thank you, Ian Tyreek Hill,
Yes.
which I got for Justin Herbert
All your keepers were
and
trades.
Kenny Galladay.
All your keepers were trades.
No, that's
Not
not true.
Saquon.
Not Saquon. I drafted Saquon.
Oh, I forgot you're
overall.
keeping that bum. You can have that bum.
Oh, okay. He'll be better
I
than
would
your whole
keep Kittle
team.
over Saquon.
He'll be better than your whole team. So
That's
it's
fine.
okay.
He'll be injured by week 3 for
Maybe.
the rest of the year.
Maybe.
He's going to tear his ACL.
And half your
He's
team may
Derrick
be the same
Rose of the
thing.
NFL.
You're calling
half
Zeke.
your team may be the same thing. So
You're calling Zeke more rushing yards than Saquon Barkley end of the
all
year.
day long.
I don't want to say rushing
Would you like
yards.
to
I
put-
want to say. You go ahead. You go ahead. You're
All
gonna do
day.
that.
Listen, let me tell you one thing. Number one, we can all agree that Zeke is way more durable than Saquon Barkley. Yes. So Barkley, even if
Durable? Yeah.
he doesn't get hurt for the entire season, he's going to sit out at least a couple games.
See, I wouldn't be going to rushing yards. I would be going total yards.
Durable is the one thing I'm going to give Zeke over Saquon.
Okay.
And every other aspect of basketball.
Now, as somebody who watches a lot of Giants games because my team is in the NFC East, I will tell you right now, Saquon Barkley runs into the line and falls down. He makes one big run a game that gets him up to a 4.1 yard a carry out.
That is so not true.
It's so true. He is a bum, man. He's a bum.
He
He's
is
an
a-
overrated bum.
If-
Overrated bum.
No,
Saquon,
No, he is not.
I would take any running back out of any of the keepers over Saquon, including Mostert. I
No.
would keep Mostert over
I've watched
Saquon.
him at Penn State in his
Nah,
rookie
maybe
year.
not. I'd probably keep Saquon over Mostert.
I've been a Saquon Barkley fan for like 5 years, and I will not stop. He is so talented. He can run the ball. He just gets past people every way imaginable. He is tough. You see his legs are tree stumps.
Mhm.
He can jump over people. He can run around them way better than Zeke can.
he runs in the line, falls down. He can't break a tackle to save his fucking
That is just not true.
The only
Zeke breaks better tackles.
he's a
one better
He's
aspect.
a
of
Madden
Zeke.
running back. You're going to toss it to the outside and hope he jukes somebody. That's the only thing you can do
Which
with
he
Saquon
does
Barkley.
So often.
He does 5% of the time, and he breaks a couple.
Okay.
He breaks a couple big runs a season and makes his stats look good. That's it. He's a stat guy.
If he is healthy this year, you are going to look back on this and think you were missing like 14 chromosomes.
I'm telling you right now, I would keep Kittle over Saquon Barkley if I were Sean, and he's going to look back.
But you would
and
not.
be kicked.
You think Aaron Jones is going to have a better season?
100%. Aaron Jones will have a better season.
Saquon's my running back 5. Aaron Jones is my running back 7. Zeke's my running back like 11.
You do know Saquon's been in the league for 3 years, 2 of those 3 years, he's had over 1,000 yards. And the two years before his injury last year, he averaged 5 yards per carry each of those first 2 seasons.
Did you watch him in college?
And they were all because of his big runs.
11.
Did you watch him in
And
college?
here's going to be the next catch I'm going to give you. And this is where I said total yards. I don't know if I necessarily agree with rushing yards better than Zeke.
I think rushing
But
yards.
total yards is a different story.
Good in the
For
passing
the
game.
plain and simple fact that year 1, 91 receptions. Year 2, where he was injured, like you already said, where he still did 1,000 rushing yards, 52 receptions. He's an overall back.
Okay. And he's an overall back who is injury prone and is make or break. I don't think make or break players.
Injury
That's another thing to
prone.
learn about
He
me.
has
Yes, you do.
he has 17
Look at your
touchdowns in
keepers.
2 full seasons.
Well, you don't have anyone else. Right?
I don't have anybody else. If I had better players, I'd have better keepers, my friend. Okay.
Well, you
I'm
traded
dealing
them.
with-
You traded them.
I
so-
traded my keepers to try and make the playoffs. I went all in on trying to make the playoffs, and I'm okay with that.
I went
Because,
all
you know,
in too, but I got
listen,
better.
Ask your brother who's been playing fantasy with me for a long time. What am I good at? I'm good at finding people that don't even get drafted that end up being huge players. I had Dante Hightower, or not
Dante Hightower, the linebacker.
hang on.
Hightower had one
the
year.
running back for
Okay,
Atlanta,
Blunt.
the couple years.
Blunt.
No, he's in New York now. Freeman.
Freeman.
I had Freeman his rookie year when nobody was high on Freeman.
And I had him the second year when he went off.
Well, he would have been a keeper for me. Right?
I got him
So,
last year when he was terrible.
Right.
Well,
But
yeah,
what
you
I'm
picked
saying
him
is-
off free agency.
And look, even last year, I got Gaskins after the fact.
That's good.
I mean, I am constantly getting talent. So I was confident in myself that I can draft good this year, and I can pick up some people that nobody knows about in free agency throughout the year. I can get some good waiver wire picks, and I can rebuild my team. Okay. I wanted to win last year. I wanted to retain my belt. Okay.
He
And
did.
I went
I
all in
won't
on
fight
that.
him on that. He did not.
It
wanna
was
give up
killing.
that
It
belt.
was literally killing me to give Sean Tyreek Hill, but I had to do it.
No, you.
I went all in to keep my belt, and I knew. Here's the one thing about
you
fantasy
ended up.
football.
You ended up in last, bro.
No, I didn't.
No,
I did
he
not.
won.
I
Oh,
played
no,
in the
it's
last.
Okay, so Jake
So you
wasn't in
lost.
this.
We had a
Okay.
loser. I was
So-
actually the
okay.
best loser.
Yes, Jake was
So
not
that-
in that pool. Me and
Okay,
Jake
so now I
wasn't,
see.
so he doesn't know that.
Yeah, me and Sean were in the big boy.
I won the
playoffs.
loser bracket. I won the loser bracket. However, I'm just saying, like, right, like that was like, if you would have seen me, I was literally like almost crying when I had to trade Tyreek Hill to him. Number one, because I didn't want him to have Tyreek Hill. Number two, because I didn't want to give up Tyreek Hill. However,
And what's
it was the only.
By the way, we were literally sitting right over there.
I got a
when we
running
made
back
this
and a
whole discussion.
quarterback. I got depth. Okay, like I needed a
He
quarterback.
wanted Justin Herbert. He got Herbert.
I got
Herbert.
Herbert,
And Galladay.
Herbert at
And
the time, and he got Galladay, which was a starting receiver at the time.
who was coming off of injury and who just never played.
And then never played again.
So I got screwed
which
up
I
with
told,
Galladay.
which I told you. Hey, you.
Yeah, but it was a chance. There was a chance
Yeah,
I was
you
going to
took a
make the
chance.
playoffs. I was one game out of the playoffs. There's a chance I was going to make the
And
playoffs.
for me, I was
There's
going
a
to be in
chance
the
I was going to have
playoffs.
Galladay back for the playoffs. And then if that would have all happened and Herbert was hot, right? If that would have all happened, the fantasy football thing, you never know. You get in the playoffs, it's one bad week for your people, one good week for my people. It wins me a
Don't
championship.
tell you, and that's what happened. Like Jake will even tell you, I should have beat you.
Yeah,
in the
you-
championship.
Sean's team's went much better.
You should have won the championship. You
Um,
and to
definitely
your
should.
credit, you wheeled and dealed all year long, and I give you mad props. Okay,
Yeah, I built my team. My team.
no,
If
you didn't build your team. You traded for your team. You wheeled
That's
and dealed.
building. That's going out of your
Yeah.
way and building.
You
your
could have
team.
drafted better. You could have done a bunch.
Well,
of
no, I
You
drafted
drafted
just
well.
fine. I drafted Barkley, and Barkley got injured in week 2. What?
Okay, hey, I'm giving you props. I think you did.
No,
great.
you're not. You're trying to take it away. You tried to give me
No,
props,
I'm
and
giving
then you
you props.
backed off it because I made
I'm
moves
giving
all
you props.
year
So
to build my
clearly,
team.
my keepers are going to be less than your guys' keepers. But do you have any people that are tough decisions on who to keep on your team? Sean, we know you have Kittle.
And I told you already, it was between Hill and Kittle for me. Those were my 2, and I'm going with Hill.
That's the right decision. Though. I agree. Now. I used to-
Because there's some other tight ends that I may be interested in on top of Kittle. So
What about you? You got anybody? Or is yours just
So before Deshaun Watson's little incidents, I was a little thinking about Watson, but at this point, I'm pretty solidified with Henry and Kelsey for sure, and Jefferson's.
Oh, you can't give up Jefferson after the rookie year yet. He's in the CD Lamb category. Him and CD Lamb.
you called it the CD Lamb category,
Yeah,
and
no,
not
he's
the
a
Justin.
rookie receiver that came on the
And
spot.
you're thinking CD's better. Justin
I think
Jefferson
CD
was
will
like
have a
5th
better
in
year.
receiving yards.
CD Lamb will have a better year than Justin Jefferson. I'm telling you that right now. I'm fully
You
confident. You
taking
have
a
to
bet?
understand. You have to understand that the guy that CD Lamb had a great year with crap at quarterback and crap at offensive line and crap at running back because Zeke.
Here, you need this to think straight.
No, seriously though. Like, I think Jefferson beat him by like 300 yards with his starting quarterback the whole year, and
on a not throwing team.
Yeah, very run.
I don't know. They threw quite a bit last year.
They are not a throwing team. Look at what they did with Dalvin Cook.
Whenever they slammed the box with Dalvin Cook, because Dalvin Cook is a beast.
And they have another high-end receiver like your team does with Thielen.
I'm very high up on CeeDee Lamb, if you can't tell.
Obviously you are.
You're too high.
That's why I'm telling you, I think you need a shot to clear your mind a little bit here.
That's fine. But
Justin Jefferson's like my receiver number 7.
And I'm somebody who agrees with you that I like CeeDee Lamb, and I think he is a high-end.
And we're in a keeper. Remember, we're in a keeper league. So I get the rights to keep CeeDee Lamb when I think he's.
And he got the right to keep Justin Jefferson. So
next year, we're talking about potentially no Amari Cooper. That means CeeDee Lamb will be arguably top 3 receiver in the NFL in the next 2 years.
Adam Thielen's going to keep declining and declining. Adam Thielen was super make or break last year. A lot of his work came from like touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
That's always been Thielen. Thielen's always been the short yard guy and consistency with reception.
I like Jefferson. I like Jefferson a lot. I think that Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb are both really talented, great receivers.
Do you think CeeDee had a better year last year?
Jefferson had a better year.
Okay. I was just seeing if you were like completely
Jefferson
like
had a better situation though. Did he have Ben DiNucci throwing in the football for a game? Did he have Garrett Gilbert throwing in football for the game?
Okay.
Did he have? Okay. Can we all agree
they're pretty similar?
Can we all agree that Andy Dalton is not as good as Kirk Cousins?
No, but Andy Dalton's like it's not like he was terrible. Like
Andy Dalton was averaging 180 passing yards a game last year. He had one 250-yard plus throwing game last year.
Okay, then how did Cooper
produce
so well?
Is that him or is that your receivers?
It definitely was not the receivers. And then, like I said, if you actually watch Cowboy games, like they literally,
or is that your running game? Because
they literally could not get first downs, and that's why I think Andy Dalton would have had some 300, 400-yard games potentially if they could have kept the ball going. But they literally were 3 and out, which is why our defense looked so atrociously bad because they were literally 3 and out. Zeke's coughing up the football. Zeke had like 8 fumbles last year, right? Like you can't do stuff like that.
I don't like how some people have Zeke at like fantasy running back like 6, 7, 8.
He should be 6, 7, 8.
I don't.
He consistently gets 25 touches a game. And he's durable.
That honestly, in terms of fantasy football, that is a lot right there. When you say touches,
and
that's what people look at.
He catches balls too.
That's why that's why I like Saquon because I know he gets both sides of the ball.
So what makes you not trust Zeke?
His just bad year.
So what bad year? So what do you think Zeke's stats were last year? He had a bad year, right? What did he get? Like, do you know any of those numbers?
Not off the top of my
What's
head.
a bad year for a running back? 4 yards a carry?
Under 4.
Under 4 yards a carry.
I know he was like 4.3. You already said that.
He had 8. He had like 7 or 8 touchdowns. The only bad year that Zeke had was fumbling. That's the only thing he had bad. And that was literally him removing himself from the field because he was either so out of shape or the coaches told him he needs to remove himself from the field. He was literally removing himself from the field after touching the ball twice.
You have this running back you think is going to do leaps and bounds better than Saquon, who's taken himself off the field for whatever reason. You have this running back who's had 8 fumbles. You're saying,
when the other season,
Saquon is
had no more than 1 fumble.
So for you, Jake, Zeke, 244 attempts last year, 979 yards, average of 4 per carry, 6 touchdowns, 52 receptions.
52 receptions. That's a lot of receptions for running back.
6 touchdowns.
How many receiving yards? 500?
Doesn't show on here.
Okay.
I'm literally just in Google.
Yeah.
He didn't crack 1,000 yards.
No, he didn't. But
like James Robinson cracked 1,000 yards last year, and he is tremendously lower than Zeke.
That was actually Zeke's second worst year.
Zeke sat out 2 games with injury. He probably didn't know that, so he would have been a 1,000-yard back easily if he was his normal 16-game season.
I will tell you, I didn't know how bad that Zeke was at fumbling the ball.
Really bad.
I didn't realize this because I'm actually
not that bad.
No. Okay, so he had 6 last year.
Lost fumbles.
Okay, so down arrow icon fumble. So last year he had 6.
Yeah.
The year prior he had 3, which okay for a star running back.
For how many touches he's getting?
Right. 2018, 6 more again.
Okay.
I don't remember it being
that fumbles lost.
It just says down
Because
there.
here's the thing. It was 2018. Yeah, that was the Dak's like regression year. And there was like 4 times that Dak tried to hand the football off, and it literally just
Actually,
hit the
last
ground,
year
and
was
they just jumped
5 lost, fumble
Yeah.
lost.
Well, he
2018,
lost 3 in the Falcons game alone.
well, 2018 was 6 lost.
And you're just like taking that.
2016 was another 5 fumbles lost. 2019 was 3, and 2017 was 1.
In
So
2019
in
was
his
probably the
grand
best year.
total of 71 games, he has 20 fumbles.
It's not good. He needs to fix that. However, he's consistent on touches. My fantasy, what I want from my fantasy football running back is consistent touches, durability. That's what you
There's
get.
no durability if he's taking himself off the field.
It doesn't matter.
And out
He's
of
still
shape.
in the game every single game, getting 20, 30 carries, 20,
Do you
30
like?
touches.
Do you think you'd like Zeke over like Henry?
No, probably not. I would. Well, he's got the receiving factor, which Henry really doesn't have.
I mean, Henry doesn't
But
have
Henry's
like, at all.
got
but Zeke
Henry's
isn't-
potentially a 2,000-yard running back. Though. Like he's the only
You-
running back in the NFL who's potentially a 2,000
How
yard
much of a
running
receiving threat is Zeke? Pollard's a better
back.
receiving
Zeke
back
has
than
great. Zeke has great hands. 100% great hands.
Zeke. He's big. He's not like quick like McCaffrey, Kamara.
I can show you some highlights. He has some of the best catches I've ever seen running backs make. He has some where like he shouldn't be
because
catching.
he makes
it.
acrobatic catches. That
By
makes
the way,
him-
guys, me and Jake still hasn't set our keepers yet.
No, we did. We talked about his keepers. He
We did Kelsey,
Yes.
and yeah, we
I mean,
did.
yeah, we touched.
We
So
touched on
I'm keeping Henry. It's pretty obvious. I think it's better with the Julio Jones because that's gonna open up the box way more. Because when you have AJ Brown and Julio Jones outside, that is by far the best wide receiver duo. They're gonna have to guard the outside, and then Derrick Henry is gonna just do even better. He got 2,000 yards with the stacked box last season.
You don't think? You really think best wide receiver duo? Tampa Bay.
I don't think they're the best take duo.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
I have bad seasons for Mike Evans coming up and a little regression for Chris Godwin coming up.
Little Godwin dropped off last year. What are you talking about?
I'm
like
saying
that duo.
little regression.
I'm saying if you're going to talk about duos, that's a heck of a duo. I mean,
Hey, that's a
There's
good
ton. If I want to
duo.
go
There's a lot
through
of
the
good
duos,
duos.
there's a lot of good duos.
But no, Julio and AJ Brown, they are both top 7, absolutely.
Like you already said the name earlier, and I agree with you that Lockett's overrated. But Lockett and Metcalf out in
That's
Seattle.
That's probably top 5.
I mean, you said Tampa already.
Well,
That's
Minnesota,
definitely
Thielen, Jefferson,
Jefferson,
Dallas, Amari, and CD.
and you can add Gallup to that mix with 3 guys.
I think
For a trio, Dallas.
trio Dallas is top 5. I don't think duo.
I think that
top
might-
5.
I think that might be for a trio. That might be one. Who else? Tampa. I mean, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's loaded at receiver.
We have 3
Buffalo,
really solid
Up in
options.
Buffalo, you have Diggs and Emmanuel Sanders. Sanders has dropped
Beasley's-
off, but he's still
Beasley's
consistent.
better than Sanders.
Beasley's not going to play this year.
Sanders is
What's that
already
about?
number 2 on the
Beasley's
roster.
not.
Beasley has come out and said if the NFL sticks to their policy where they're going to force players to vaccinate, then he's not going to play this year.
Oh.
So there's a very good chance that unless
yeah.
he changes his opinion on that, that
Okay.
Buffalo loses Beasley.
I personally, I think that's stupid. You're gonna lose all that money. Like that to me.
Well, this is the guy who also
He's white.
he also quit his rookie year. You probably didn't know that, but he was a 4th-round draft pick. He quit training camp, and the Cowboys had to go home and recruit him to come back.
I remember him being on the Cowboys. Before.
Yeah, they had to go and recruit him to come back. I mean, he's just that type of player. If things aren't perfect for him, he's not going to do it. So.
Here's another unknown one that people aren't going to think of when they think of best duos. Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp in LA on the
I'm real
Rams.
high on Robert Woods this
Yeah,
year.
but they're not sexy at all.
No, they're not, but they're
No.
good.
But they're
just
good.
good.
And then how good are they going to be with Stafford throwing?
Right.
versus
They're
Goff?
just good.
Way better. I love Stafford. I love Stafford.
I'm a big Stafford fan.
Him in LA with that team, and McVay as head coach, I'm sold.
They're my pick for the Super Bowl.
I'm
They were
sold.
also my pick in 2018.
I mean,
So,
But-
real quick,
Arizona's got a pretty good duo.
let me get my
Their
stacked
defense.
keepers out of the
Wait,
way.
no,
I got
they
Saquon, Aaron Jones, Ian Tyreek Hill.
And you're missing out on Kittle.
And I'm not keeping Kittle.
Yeah, you're not keeping.
I
Kittle.
had the chance to keep Kittle. I'm
which
not.
is a tough. It's not an easy decision to give up on Kittle.
I also like Kyler Murray, and Kyler Murray was in my thought process
Yeah.
for a while.
Well, that's what I was just about to say.
I like Kyler Murray.
Now that Deshaun's completely I can't keep Deshaun Watson. I also have Lamar Jackson, who I picked up after he
Mhm.
dropped. Who, I mean, is how bad is that to keep Lamar over Justin Jefferson? I'm not going to do it, but I thought about it. I'm still like a little.
I wouldn't do it.
To me, Jefferson's your best keeper. Not for this year.
He's thinking future.
It's a keeper.
He's thinking long.
You have to think long term.
I'm thinking Kelsey.
Kelsey's old. He's 30.
Yeah,
I think Kelsey's going to be really good for the next 5, 6, 7 years.
Look at Gronk at 32. Gronk fell off.
Well, he also retired.
Yeah.
Called it quits.
I'm just saying.
Gronk is having a 45-year-old Tom Brady, not a 25-year-old Mahomes.
If you remember, Gronk called it quits and retired because he didn't want to play with Belichick anymore.
He clearly lost a step like 30.
During that time off, but if you remember at the end of last year, after the whole season with Brady, he started to play better. So was that rust throughout most of the season?
He was still kind of slow though, and not very.
Yeah, but he has to catch the ball.
Kelsey's not fast anyway. Kelsey's not real quick. He sees a ton of volume. He catches the ball. He's always open.
But Jefferson he legit could be a keeper for 10 years for you.
Possibly.
And so you're saying Jefferson a keeper for 10 years. What the? And you think CD is better, bro?
I think CD's ceiling is higher than Jefferson. Yeah.
I mean, I think Jefferson's floor is a lot safer.
Probably. You know why I think his floor is safer? Because I think that CD has a potential to be like an AB type of player, where he's got his attitude that's going to get in the way at some point. That's the only concern I have with CD is I think at some point.
Well, you're talking about when his girlfriend tried to grab his phone, he went.
Yeah, I think at some point CD is going to become a drama queen. You know, and don't get me wrong, Dallas is one of the best teams at handling drama queens. We've had a lot of them. Des Bryant, Michael Irvin. They've had a lot of Terrell Owens was successful in Dallas. A lot of 88s.
A lot of 88s.
A lot of 88s. But I'll tell you what, though, like, would you trade one of those 88s? No, probably not. You know, so I'm hoping that they can keep him under control. You know, that's the big thing. That's my only concern with CD. I think Jefferson's ceiling's definitely better, floor is definitely better. I think CD's ceiling's. CD has the acrobatic stuff that Jefferson doesn't have.
How often are receivers doing acrobatic catches? Come on.
I mean, I watched Des Bryant own the NFL for 2 years with acrobatic catches. So
he did not own the NFL off.
He was a top 3 receiver back to back.
Off acrobatic catches only.
I mean, that was like 90% of his catches was like those back shoulder jump over the opponent. Yeah, I mean, it could be a big thing. Look at the Green Bay receiver,
Adams.
Adams is 100%. He's all back shoulder jump over the opponent. That's acrobatic. That when you can out jump somebody and catch a ball and your quarterback's throwing it in the right spot.
He's physically bigger and better.
There was a time.
I think Devontae Adams just.
There was a time where Des Bryant and Tony Romo together. Des Bryant was literally like inside of 15 yards in the red zone. It was a guaranteed touchdown for Des Bryant. They would just throw that back shoulder. Nobody could guard it. You knew it was coming.
Des Bryant has he's decently bigger than CD, right?
CD just put on tons of muscle, bro. Go look at him. Go look at photos. I'm telling you, I listen to podcasts. You
listen to Cowboys podcasts
all day long. Yes, every time they release one. And not only do I listen to the actual Cowboys podcast, I listen to Sports Illustrated's Cowboys podcast.
Which are all Cowboys fans,
right?
I'm a legit big time Cowboys fan. Okay, I pay attention to what's going on.
So you let your fandom almost get in the way of the right pick? Is that what you're saying? Or you
no?
Okay.
I don't.
There's a reason he's keeping 2 Cowboys out of his 3 slot.
No, that's because my team sucked. Okay? Don't correct the fact that my team sucked last year. However, my team sucked and I was still 1 game out of the playoffs, okay? So it is what it is. Sometimes you're just going to have those injury-riddled seasons. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, it happens.
It definitely happens where I had to give away some great players just to get depth because that's the one thing because we went to 12 teams last year. Mm-hmm. The free agency for running backs.
We also upgraded because of COVID. We also upgraded spots because of COVID.
I traded.
That's probably what hurt the most is because of those
COVID. When we added, what did we have? 4 bench guys or something like that.
It got to a point where when I traded. So I traded you Tyreek Hill, and I got back I think Damian Harris, one of the running backs I got.
Damian Harris.
Yeah, so I got Damian Harris from you. Damian Harris was getting 10 to 15 touches a game, and I looked in free agency. Because I needed a running back to start that week. And I looked in free agency, and the top guy was averaging 1.5 touches. 1.5 touches. Yeah. My best running back last year, actually stat-wise and numbers-wise, was Gollum or whatever his name was for the Giants.
Oh, yeah. He didn't do bad.
Yeah, he was a
New
free
York.
agent pickup like halfway through the year. So I was literally grasping at straws to put a team together. There was a week when I played the Broncos receiver that was playing quarterback in my slot position because I had no other better options. Okay, I was like, well, maybe he'll complete a couple passes, run the football. He got negative 8 points. From
Well, this year, draft smart, not dumb, and build your team.
I think I did draft good.
You drafted a quarterback in the first round. Draft smart.
That quarterback was averaging 70 points a week at one point.
Once again, draft smart, not dumb.
Okay. Well, hey, I won the championship the year. When's the last time you won the championship?
When you ran the league, since I took over from
How
you.
long has that been?
I don't know how long.
What, 6, 7, 8 years?
When was the last time you were in the playoffs? I haven't missed the playoffs, so
Doesn't matter. When's the last time you had the belt?
never, because we didn't. I created it.
There you go, buddy. I've owned the belt.
I do own the belt.
You currently own the belt.
I own the belt in my first year. That's pretty sick.
That's pretty sick, but you just know that it's very hard to win back to back.
Except for Wade.
Wade did it.
He won it 3 times so far.
Didn't Wyshinski do back to back?
No, Wyszynski won once.
I thought he went back to back.
He broke one of Wade's runs up.
Who do you guys hope to get in the draft? Mike Davis here. No understanding. Unless you trade, you could trade Sean.
I'm not that high on him.
You're not that high.
No, I could see Sean like you liking Davis over like Sanders.
I definitely like Davis over Sanders, yes. Sanders has
Gibson's
too much
being
competition.
kept. Shit.
I'm trying to trade Dave Moser for Gibson and swap our picks
Okay.
because he wants somebody that I might take. So
Well, where's Dave's pick?
he's right behind me,
two.
he's number 2.
That's 1 and 2.
So I swap 1 and 2, and I told him I'd swap in the next round too. So
I know.
He's just trying to take advantage of something here.
I really it's a reach.
I'm
How's
just
he?
saying.
I mean, I applaud you for
And we
doing
haven't
that.
even seen the full list because we
Does
don't
he
know all
want
the
Najee
keepers.
Harris too?
No, he does not want Najee Harris, but he doesn't know that. I told him I might draft Najee Harris, but or somebody else he wants, and that's before we even see the. Dude, there's a chance that one of our idiot owners in our fantasy league is going to drop somebody worthwhile.
Oh, there is. I wouldn't put it past. Okay, so 1 or 2, I wouldn't be looking at him. Josh Jacobs, I think he may end up being back on the list for drafting. He's going to be a starting running back though. What?
He doesn't like.
He
Josh
should be
Jacobs.
on our list, absolutely, and we should not waste a first round pick on him.
With how many first-round running backs are gone, you absolutely should use a first-round pick on him. Because he's going to be a workhorse back. The only guy they have, I guess they could bring Kenny and Drake
He's yards per carry is like 3.2.
last year, 1 year off. What was he?
He's
the year
had
before?
2,
Okay,
His rookie campaign was pretty good.
he was fantastic as rookie campaign.
and now he brings in Kenyon Drake, who's going to have all the pass catching in the backfield. And Vegas sucks. Gruden has not shown himself to be a good coach there yet.
Okay,
I think they might have a quarterback change at some point in the year. I could see Mariota taking over.
yeah.
Yeah, I used to like Carr a lot, not so much anymore.
I think if Mariota takes over, Josh Jacobs is going to have a big year.
I,
They're going to run probably a lot of that, read option stuff, and that's
he's,
right in his
I feel like
wheelhouse.
he's one guy. Like I said, I would definitely keep an eye on in the first round. He's not.
Like, who would you hope would slip and fall to you if you had out of any round? Like, if you're like, hey, if I'm in the 3rd round and this dude's still.
I've already told you I want Najee Harris.
Well, you're not.
I know it's not going to happen.
You definitely, with all the Steeler fans in our league, even if I do pass on Najee, you're not getting him.
Once again, I know it's not going to happen. But you just said who would you want to slip you? That would be.
If you want to trade for the number 1 pick.
I tried already. You said no.
What'd you offer?
It's what he's got.
Straight up first round pick for Saquon. His first pick. Which is going to be Najee. He already knows who I'm taking with it.
We're in a keeper league. Remember, we're in a
Absolutely
keeper
knows
league.
who I'm going to take with it.
We're in a keeper league. Saquon's already at the
You
end.
offered that?
Yeah.
Saquon is already at the end of his rookie deal. Think about that.
I'd rather see him out of New
He's
York.
already pushing 30. What happens to running
He's
backs?
not
Pushing
He's-
30.
he's like 26.
He's 25.
27.
I literally just looked him up. He's 25.
Either way.
He's been in the league 3 years.
We would rather have him out of New York, correct? New York
Oh, yeah.
is
He gets out of
terrible.
New York. That helps. That helps.
So being at the end of his rookie deal means he's going to not want to be in New
they-
York.
they-
Most running backs, though, towards the end of their rookie deals, these teams, they run them till the wheels fall off. So with Najee, you're getting 4 to 5 years of him getting run till the wheels fall off, because that's what these teams do.
And the
These
Steelers
rookies.
created that. They did that with Lev Bell.
Right.
For what? 20
Think
years.
about Lev Bell the first 4 years. Would you trade?
No, I don't think
Saquon
Najee's
now-
Lev Bell level.
What's that?
I do not think Najee's Lev Bell level.
No, but he's going to get Lev Bell touches. That's what you got to think about. It's all about the touches. It's all about the Benjamins. That's the touches.
I mean, as a rookie, like how
He's higher rated than Lev Bell was coming out of the college. He's,
I know.
if you look at his highlight reel, he's a better overall athlete than Lev Bell was.
Yeah, Mark Ingram won Heisman in
I-
college.
Once again, I know. But
But he has some good years though too. I if there was some other sweetener into that, which you did offer me the swap too, didn't you? Like
Yeah,
like
draft
a year
pick swaps,
pick,
yeah.
Yeah, I would
take
almost
that
want
if I
Aaron
were you.
Jones over Saquon,
yeah, that's what you said.
but there
You
still would
wouldn't
need
do
to be
that.
something
What's
else.
that?
You guys are both higher on Aaron Jones and Saquon, surprisingly. Am I
I don't think
right?
he's higher.
I'm kind of mutual.
Mutual?
So when
Like I
you were
said,
keeping
Aaron Jones is
when you
more
were
of a
when he was keeping
consistent
Kittle,
guy.
when he was keeping Kittle, he was dropping Hill.
Yeah.
If he would trade Jones for the first pick,
Here's the
I
catch.
wouldn't.
Here's the catch. Jones, and I've told you this consistently. Aaron Jones is more consistent, doesn't get injured, is consistently playing.
Here's
only gets
Saquon is the
15.
I will
boom or
tell you
bust
the
guy.
one trump card that sucks. You pull the trigger on Aaron Jones and you trade for him. The one trump card that sucks is Aaron Rodgers retires.
I
He
don't.
goes to Jeopardy.
I don't think
Aaron Jones is going to have that bad of a year without Aaron
I think
Rodgers.
Green Bay's
I think
line-
Devontae Adams takes a giant step back.
I
Not Aaron
think
Jones.
Green Bay's line is there. I think they have other weapons. Don't get me wrong. Without the quarterback, yeah, you have to change it up a little bit. But I think
Well,
the
again,
line's there to
just
be able
think
to
about
run.
what we were just talking about with Dallas. When the quarterback went out, we had trouble moving the football.
Because your coach sucks.
No, I would say that's because our whole entire offense sucked. We were
We've had-
fumbling. Our offensive line was bad.
And
We've had this
you
conversation.
think it's
how
going to
bad
become
your coach is. I think your
magically
coach is
all
horrible.
better?
No,
Because look at what Tomlin did when we had Mason Rudolph and we had Duck Hodges as our quarterback.
yeah. So you're going to compare Mike Tomlin, who's a Super Bowl winning coach, to
Wasn't McCarthy a Super Bowl winning
McCarthy
coach?
was a Super Bowl.
Didn't you want to run your
You're
mouth about that
comparing.
the other
You're
last
comparing
episode?
those two guys to.
Didn't you the last episode when you kept saying he won a Super Bowl
Yeah.
and you would put him up there in the top? What was it? 15?
No. I'm
or
saying you're
13?
going to take. You're going to say that Green Bay has a good coach, and my team doesn't have a good coach. I would make the argument that dude inherited a loaded roster and has not achieved what they needed to achieve, which is winning the Super Bowl.
If you want to say
I
winning
don't
the
think
Super Bowl,
that-
that's fine. But he was 13-3, and what was I don't even remember the year before.
13-3,
Before.
riding off of the best wide receiver season in like a decent while.
So
Aaron Rodgers is insane. Aaron Jones.
Who was it? Marty Schottenheimer? Who was the guy who went 13-3 and got fired from the Chargers? It was like 10 years ago or something. But like
it had to be Sean
it
Ryder
doesn't-
at that point.
it might have been North Turner. I can't remember. But either way, like good coaches, they still have one goal. And if you look at that roster, they're stacked. They should have won the Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying. And the fact that they lost to Tampa Bay with an aging Tom Brady.
Tom
And then the
Brady's-
year before, they lost to the 49ers with Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm sorry. That's not a good coach. You got to find a way to pull that victory out when you have arguably the most talented quarterback of this generation, right?
Weren't you third in the NFC East last year?
What's that?
Weren't you third in the NFC East last year?
Yeah, absolutely. With the most injury-riddled roster probably in Cowboys history. Yes.
So you think you're going to go from third to
we were one game away from
winning it by 4 games plus?
yes,
That's for you,
100%.
Tony.
100%.
Tony,
Okay,
so
Jake, who are you hoping to get slipped into you in fantasy?
In a late round running back, Michael Carter. I already said about that. Wide receivers. I mean, I like Robert Woods a lot, and
That's not
like-
going to be late.
okay.
Late,
Oh,
Robert.
no, he doesn't have to be late. Who do you
Yeah,
hope
you
is going to
just-
slide to you? That's all. It
Oh,
could be
I
a
thought you
first
said
round
late
pick.
round. I thought you just
He
said
said late round pick.
Oh.
Russell Gage in Atlanta. I think with Calvin Ridley being across and now Julio's gone, along with Kyle Pitts is gonna draw attention to him. I think Russell Gage can have a sneaky good season.
It's going to be an entertaining one to slide to you.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be that good this year. First year.
I mean, where's he? Where would you think
He's my
should
tight
draft
end 4 or 5.
What did you say?
Tight end 4 or 5. Right around Hawkinson.
I had 6.
Who else? You have answers above him? I don't.
Or once again, none. known commodity versus putting a rookie out there as high as it. And Ian knows how high I am on Fitz, and I think he's going to be great. First year tight ends don't always fare well.
And sometimes you think a rookie's going to be a stud, and that quarterback just doesn't like him for whatever reason. Yeah.
First year is the question.
Remember, what was the Njoku? Like everybody was.
Yeah,
Njoku's
Njoku
the
could have
next.
been
Well,
really
think
good.
about last year. They
Njoku-
brought in Austin Hooper.
Right. Well, but
We did
his
nothing.
rookie year though, Njoku was supposed to be the next great tight end,
Yeah.
right? And then he's maybe had 2 seasons with like more than like 10 catches.
Didn't last year he asked to be traded? Wasn't he? Didn't he request when he was ticked off about
Yep.
Hooper being there?
I would say I'd be like out of people I hope slide to me, which is funny because I like durability, right? But like I would love to get like an Odell slide to me.
Like you talking like second. Like,
What round do you think?
I'm not hating Odell either.
Well, I mean, you got to think I'm the first pick, which means I'm the last pick of the second round. So if I can get him with
but
the
also
second,
the first and the third.
if I can get him with my second or third pick, I kind of like that. He gets a lot of touches in Cleveland. He was a stud for me. I have him in my other league, which is the keeper league as well. He's one of my keepers. It's a lot more keepers.
For you, it's almost like 3 Paragon picks because you're at the very end of the
Right.
second. I'm not hating on that pick at that point, depending if he's still
But
there.
he might not be fresh on people's mind, like.
I just don't like
kinda
going with Baker. Him and Baker haven't.
That's
produced.
it's a loaded offense. Super run oriented, most run oriented team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Jarvis Landry and Austin Hooper are also there. I don't hate Odell either. I think
Yeah.
I like
I
Odell.
almost like Kareem Hunt more than I do him at that
Yeah.
round.
And there's some sneaky trade potential with there too.
I mean, like Odell
If he
is a
If,
name.
he turns
Odell
around.
gets traded to like
Tampa with Brady. Because Brady won.
Tampa, if
Tampa
he gets
is
traded to
always-
Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, if he gets traded, then you're like, whoa, Odell, like it's a big Odell, right? Like
Maybe.
he's talent wise, he's got to be top 10 receiving talent, probably top 5 when he's healthy, right?
Maybe.
Not
I'm
anymore.
not sure.
I
about
don't
that
think.
anymore. There's so much receiver talent anymore in the
Yeah,
NFL.
yeah.
I don't even want to.
I mean, I got to see who's all capped and who's still sitting on the board, but I'm thinking like the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. If I can sneak an Odell somewhere in there, I'm pretty happy with that. Because most seasons he's a first round pick. He's a late
He
first round.
has, but he's obviously the last 2 or 3 years kind of gradually dropped and dropped and dropped it.
Yeah.
He hasn't done any favors for himself.
Yeah.
So, I almost like Jarvis Landry better because he's more consistent.
Maybe he needs to marry the kicking.
Maybe.
I don't know. Okay, last topic before we get into kids' corner.
Oh, there's more topics.
There's one more topic.
Jeez.
Who are the best fantasy players of the Pittsburgh Steelers and Dallas Cowboys? We're fans, so we should know. We should know the. I'm talking deep players. Don't talk about Ben Roethlisberger and what's the,
Ben Roethlisberger, I wouldn't even draft them.
what do they call He's not Megatron. He's, Mapletron.
Mapletron.
Don't talk about the top guys. Who's sneaky good on the Steelers?
Pat Fryermuth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I've never heard of
He's the
him.
tight end we drafted in the 2nd round from Penn State.
He's-
Baby Gronk. Better known as
he's
Baby Gronk.
Gronk.
He's the
Maybe
second
not.
best tight end in the draft, for sure.
You think he's going to be a starting tight end? For the
They are
Steelers?
already practicing with him as the number 1 guy.
He's better than Ebron now. Ebron's not what he was supposed to be.
So would you take him over Blake Jarwin?
Probably.
Nobody knows who Blake Jarwin is.
But I wouldn't.
Cowboys.
Here's the catch. I would.
But if you go
Yeah.
off of Sean's thing of like proven versus non-proven,
Here's the
Jarwin
catch.
has proven he can make good catches.
Sitting behind Jason Witten, you call that proven?
Here's the catch with
He
Fryermuth.
got on the field still.
Since I'm the one bringing Fryermuth up here,
Yeah.
he would be a 10th round. He would be a late round guy for me. And when I mean late, I probably would take a tight end before him and then draft him later because
Yeah, not
in our league, yes, we are a Steeler heavy league where people think of Steelers, but you know what they're going to do? Draft Eric Ebron.
Yeah, who's
Draft Ebron.
Ebron's not.
Ebron. He's known. Fryermuth is better. It's
Are they
just
gonna
that
run-
simple.
are they
It's
gonna
just
run
that
two
simple.
tight end sets? Or
They may.
Yeah, I think that.
Once again, Fryermuth is better overall. He's better
my
than
only
me.
problem with Ebron is he's got the drops.
Yeah.
Like, that dude drops more passes than Brian.
Fryermuth is Heath Miller with a bigger body and a faster legs.
I think Claypool's getting a little overrated this year or underrated. I think Claypool could have a sneaky good season. He had 10 touchdowns last year. 11.
His issue is Ben wasn't throwing deep, and he's a deep receiver.
The Eagles game. where Claypool just went nuts. What do you have, 3 or 4 touchdowns?
4.
I mean, he looked like a beast. But
Didn't he have another 4 touchdown game?
But
Or was
then
there
I
two?
felt like he
Yeah,
kind of, I felt like he
Against
kind of
Denver.
dropped off.
Oh, he did,
He was
because
good that first 6 games.
Yeah, but
He was
that's
good
when
the
Ben
first
was
10.
throwing the ball
He had a
deep.
He had a touchdown the first 10 games, and then last 6 he's had like 1 or 2.
Ben was throwing deep. He's a deep threat. He's not the 15-yard slant guys, which if you look at the second half of the season when the Steelers are losing, that's all they could throw is those 5 and 10-yard slants, pearls, things like that were Juju, Deontay. That's why Deontay was getting 12 targets, which there's another sleeper if you want one. Huh? Deontay, he's going to get targets.
How much of
it's
a
just the
sleeper?
targets.
I don't know how much of a sleeper Deontay is.
That's where if you want to how you want to view it. But really, for him, if he's a target monster, he's going to get 12 targets. I mean,
Our offense is loaded though in terms of
we were loaded last year. All these guys were here last year, except for Fryermuth and
Yeah,
Najee Harris.
and Deontay didn't do great fantasy last year.
No, but he had the targets. Once again, the targets were there, which means Ben uses them. Ben's our quarterback, isn't he?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh, jeez. I'm not going to hate on the old man. He did a lot
At
of good
this
things.
point, you're oblivious to mine, in my opinion.
I
that.
told you already.
He's
I
probably my
thought that
favorite athlete ever.
Well,
He sucks. He's like can't throw the ball.
he had a rough second half of the year. I'm not going to hate on the man because I didn't think he should be playing last year. But
Here, when I watched the Pittsburgh Steelers late in the year, I didn't think that he sucked. I thought that maybe he was given too much power, but like they didn't try. Like Connor averaged 4 yards a carry.
well, that's because he's audible. He audible every time.
That's what I'm saying. I think that Ben, in his mind, was like, well, the new running game is going to be the slants, which did work good for a period of time, but then it got cold and
Because they
rainy,
couldn't
and
throw
the
the ball
drops
deep.
started
He
happening.
can throw the ball deep.
He can't pass. He can't throw it.
Maybe this year he will. He was coming off of an injury unknown to quarterbacks last year.
I do not think so. I think he's done.
I don't know if you can. That kind of injury at 39 years old, I don't know. I said this to you before
Right,
last
he's
year.
so old.
What's that?
He's so old. What makes like? Why should there be an incline at this point in the career when we saw how he ended last season?
I still think he's a better option than Mason Rudolph. Maybe not Dwayne Haskins, but Dwayne Haskins, I think, is a project to get him ready.
Okay, if Dwayne Haskins has any potential, he's absolutely a project, and he's absolutely your
He was
best
a top 10
quarterback on our
draft
roster.
pick. He was a top 10 draft pick.
Top 10
That's
draft
the
pick who did shit.
with Washington. Washington.
Is Washington not your
Jake
pick to
Gruden-
win the division?
Jake Gruden was one of the worst coaches. Dumb. He made dumb moves. He criticized his quarterback. He was racist to the
And
quarterback.
last year, Haskins
Racist?
had a couple sneaky good
Yes,
games.
Haskins wasn't bad under Rivera last year, but he had learned bad habits under Gruden the year prior. Steelers are a different system with a lot of talent with a guy who could throw the ball with a big arm. Yes, does he have need to grow? Yes. Did Ben need to grow when we drafted Ben? Yeah, look at all stupid mistakes, errors he made.
Didn't he win the Super Bowl
I'm not
year?
talking about talent.
I think
The issue Haskins got cut was because he would go to the strip club without a mask on during COVID. He would do stupid stuff against the team.
when his
Guess
coach,
what?
when his
Ben
coach
ran
was
away
bad.
with a motorcycle, got hit into an accident. Ben got caught molesting women in public restrooms.
Arguably.
So let's go down the route of what we can sit here and say about Ben that has been brought up. And I like Ben. I think he's definitely a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's maybe the best quarterback in Steelers history.
Here's what last
So you have to go to
year.
Terry Bradshaw. Bradshaw has 4 Super Bowls.
Bradshaw
Jake
has
Bradshaw's
almost as many picks as touchdowns.
Once again, he has 4 Super
Jake,
Bowls.
here's what you have to think about with Haskins. The dumb stuff they did doesn't sound that dumb, but like when you go during COVID to a public place, doesn't matter what the public place
It's
is,
stupid to be in the public eye.
without a mask on. And then think of one more thing: his coach is battling cancer. So
I don't think
there
it
was a lot
was
of-
Ron Rivera caring personally. I think it was just the team being because it's bad to be in public without a mask because people get so touchy about shit.
But you got to think, I mean, he potentially risked his head coach's life.
Yeah.
That's how they were looking.
James,
That's how they were looking. So
I don't.
I think that Haskins made a great move going to Pittsburgh. I think it was a great
Same.
choice. I think that
For him to have a future career, it was a great choice.
I think he could potentially be the future quarterback. of
How
Pittsburgh.
realistic is Haskins? Like,
better than Rudolph.
Oh, way better than Rudolph.
well, as a in terms of like having a career quarterback, like in Pittsburgh,
I
yes,
wanted-
but I think
I wanted
Rudolph
Dallas
is
to
a
take
safer
the backup.
backup.
I wanted Dallas to pick him. He would have been a great backup.
I would put money on it that he ends up being the starter more, so then they draft the quarterback next year.
Really?
Mhm. Unless the right quarterback's there and they have a absolutely shitty year this year.
So you think Haskins is gonna?
To get back on top real quick, you guys are saying fantasy-wise, Deontay Johnson,
I like Freiermuth. That's it.
Freiermuth,
Better than Johnson.
he's thinking a late round sneak.
I'm thinking late round. Somebody who I think
Johnson in our league, Johnson will be gone
top 2 rounds.
top 2 rounds.
I don't think
I would consider.
Besides Freiermuth, we don't have a sneaker in me. To me.
I mean, I already talked about the Cowboys sneaker, and that's Blake Jarwin. People are gonna probably forget about him because he got hurt.
I think Amari's being overlooked.
Yeah, I think you could probably get some value with Amari.
I like the value of Amari's out.
If you need a deep stash at wide receiver, I think picking up Michael Gallup is not a bad choice.
No, yeah.
Because if Amari's had some injury stuff, if Amari goes down or CD goes down, he's automatically now a
good wide receiver.
A good WR2. So I think that could be a good stash, right? I might almost stash him just as a handcuff to CD, right? If CD gets hurt, I got a good play there. You know what I mean? So yeah, I handcuff running backs all the time. Love doing that. Otherwise, Tony Pollard.
Well, for sure. If Zeke ends up sucking, or if Zeke gets hurt, Pollard's in for a good
I
game.
think Pollard's just not bad.
Well, in our league, if you stash Pollard on the bench, like I don't know what we're doing at the bench and everything, but like I would have loved to have a Tony Pollard that gets 7 to 10 touches a game over what was in free agency.
Step back to normal. It's not as vast as it was last year.
So that's something to think about late round stashing of Tony Pollard on the bench. If you're Massimo and you have Zeke, you definitely need Tony Pollard as a handcuff.
Zeke, keeping Zeke
If
for
he keeps
sure.
Zeke, I don't even know if he's keeping it at this point.
He's going to keep Zeke. Come on.
You sure?
I mean, please, Massimo, if you're listening, please let go of Zeke. And I'm drafting Zeke. No doubt about it. Proven commodity.
You
Touches,
should try to trade
durability.
him. Give him your first pick. You can get Najee Harris for your Zeke.
I probably should reach out to him.
Oh my
Try to
gosh,
reach out to him.
Massimo out of all people.
Then I get
He's a
Zeke.
Wilford.
Then I get Zeke and another first round pick. I'm okay with that. I would
I don't
love
know
that.
if I go that route, but
Swap first round picks and then Zeke for Najee. I think he might take it. I'm gonna reach out to Massimo.
Swap. I don't know about the swap first. I would just.
well, hold on.
Zeke-
No,
Zeke for
it's
Najee,
not
that's
Zeke in a draft pick. It's literally a draft pick for Zeke because you have to draft.
I can still take his draft pick as part of the trade.
Yes, but you have to give
He
a
would
draft
take-
pick
he would
back.
take
He
Zeke
has
as
to-
I would take
keeper.
Zeke as a keeper, let
Correct.
Moser go, and then I could swap first round draft picks with him. So he gets
He's not going to
getting-
want to.
He's getting one player. You're getting a draft pick and a player. You're missing something here. You're missing the other piece. You said about swap.
You need to put in a player as well.
You're basically asking him to give you Zeke for nothing because you're saying about swapping draft picks.
Yeah, and I think he would do that.
No.
If he's potentially
Offer
gonna
him like a
if
6.
he's potentially gonna drop Zeke anyways, to swap
Oh, I don't
first
know
round
if he is.
picks and then get.
I don't know if he is. I just don't know what he's doing.
You can't get your first out of that. You're gonna try to get like a 6, like a late round pick.
I mean, I'm gonna talk to Mossman and see what he wants to do. It's gonna be something that's on my list to
I'm
do.
gonna say because technically your first should be what you're getting for Zeke. That's the trade right there.
But we got
Which
to remember.
means taking his
Wait,
first.
whoa, Mr. Tradeaholic over here.
Oh, I'll
We
make
gotta remember that Massimo is a hardcore Steeler.
Oh, I'll let him go with it. Oh, if that's where it
I'm
comes
just
from,
saying.
I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah, I mean, if he's
I'm
willing
talking to
do
you
it,
how I think of it.
if he's willing to do it,
Once again, I'm not
can't.
gonna fight you on it.
You can't. You have to.
Have
You
to
still
what?
have to give up draft
Do
picks,
that
though.
trade. Give
Oh,
it to
yeah.
You
him.
still have to give up a draft pick though. Just by policy, the league has to have even amount of draft picks on each team. So you do have to give up a pick of some sort.
I think there's some trades.
He's giving up
No,
the first.
absolutely not.
He's giving up the first. Mossman's
Correct,
gonna have
correct. But he can't take first, and then just take Zeke by itself because the players don't match up.
No, we are
to. Oh, the players have to match up as well.
Because if he does that, he would have to drop Moser beforehand, which the league's not going to allow you to do because they aren't letting you to drop
I
players.
just have to like
Just
Zeke
throw
for
in
my keeper.
Just throw in Mostert as
You-
like
If
he's
you
there,
take on
like, you know what I
Zeke,
mean?
you have too many players on your roster. It will not let it go through. You have to drop Moser beforehand,
let.
which it will not let you.
It's gotta
Okay,
be
so I gotta throw him a player in the.
Correct. That's the whole
I
point.
thought you were
That's-
saying I couldn't do draft pick for draft. Pick.
No, I don't
And
give a damn
Mostert
about
might-
that. You need to throw in a player. It
Okay.
has to be matched.
All right.
Mostert might be a keeper on his team with him letting go Zeke. So
Yeah.
that might like actually like
or Gaskins or whoever he likes. You know?
Like I said,
I like Gaskins better. I like Gaskins better than most.
It just has to be matchy.
I don't know why I didn't think about reaching out to Boston. Like
because I'm smarter than you when it comes to trades.
He's probably the biggest yinzer in the group.
Once
this
again,
is the guy who he literally tried to trade AB straight up for Aaron Jones.
Once again, I'm smarter than you when it comes to trades.
Okay.
That's why you didn't think of it, and I did.
Okay.
For your team.
Do you think I could possibly reach out to people who like want to keep Lamar?
I already told you already to do that. And you did. Don't get me wrong. I don't think anybody should want to keep him, but when you were talking about trading Derrick Henry, I told you to do that.
I mean, for somebody who there's a lot of teams, like I can tell you, Dave is not high on many of his keepers. You know, so
there's tons of them.
Yeah, there's people that if you offer them a quarterback and they don't really have a quarterback, or they.
However, if you do remember, I did put Julio out there on the trade block, and absolutely nobody gave a shit about it.
Yeah,
just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Except for Ian cared the most.
But he didn't offer anything, so he's so much of a keeper.
Yeah, because I need running backs, bro.
I offered you a running back for your draft pick.
No. Because Aaron Jones is the one I want, but then I'm worried about the Aaron Rodgers effect. So, but yeah, that's I would say Blake Jarwin, because everybody knows everybody on Dallas. Like,
I know Blake
Tony
Jarwin.
Pollard.
He was a sneaky guy last year.
Tony Pollard, Blake Jarwin. I mean, that's probably about it for Cowboys that you don't know or probably do know, but don't.
Well, just a heads up.
And I drafted Blake Jarwin.
We need to get the kids corner. I think we're over 2 hours now.
We are over 2 hours. Kids corner.
Hold on, we did get a 15-minute break there. Thanks, Power.
Yeah, we did get like a 15, 20-minute break. Jake, you are up, my friend. You're going to talk about one of your nephews.
So, yeah, my nephew and my godson, Grayson, he spent a day or two up over 4th of July at our grandparents' lake house. He had a ball. I don't know what the hell was kids corner. Just tell
story.
Tell a story.
This is pathetic.
I have no idea. I have no idea what this is.
We just tell a funny story or something about it.
Any story about
any story.
You tell a story about yourself. You're still a kid.
Oh, we could tell a story.
I fucked up my wrist.
We can make a night about Jake.
We could tell a story about Jake lifting up your future wife's shirt and doing belly. What was it called?
Belly rubs.
Or you guys locking Jake in the dog cage?
So that was gonna be what I said.
You guys did do that.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't. But
I didn't.
I think you might have done one. Years.
He would have wanted to, but
I totally would want. Yeah.
We got you in there with the cheese balls. Is that good enough for Kids Corner on this side? Talking about Jake and his.
Probably.
Because I probably could go on if you want to make this a night about Jake. I could probably go on here.
I think we have more Jake stories than we have stories about our kids.
Maybe. But he's also older.
He's older.
He's been around longer than our kids have.
That he has. You want to go then? What you got for Kids Corner?
Oh, we'll go with the Jake story.
Okay.
We'll go back to the wedding day, where he outdid your best man speech.
Oh, wow. I don't know about how he did. My joke was definitely the best.
He brought up about us putting him in the cage.
My joke was the best. His speech might have been better. My joke.
So, 2 speeches. Both of them gave a speech at my wedding. Ian had a good speech. I don't know about a good speech, but he had a good joke. He had a good smarting point.
My speech wasn't bad, but I want to start off with like the funniest joke possible, But then I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was legit terrified that Sam would hate me for my joke.
You're gonna have to enlighten me.
You don't remember now. So
He was, how
I don't-
5? 6?
8.
Really?
One where you 2013? 9?
Yeah, it was 13.
Now I can't
9.
take full credit because I googled, best man jokes.
Who doesn't Google at this point?
Yeah, I
Even
can't take
without
I didn't come up with the joke, right?
Yeah.
So I googled it. But it was, you stand there and you go, John, Sam, look into each other's eyes. And they did. They looked into each other's eyes and pause. It had to be like a 3-4 second pause. And then you go, you are now looking at the person who's statistically most likely to kill or murder you, whatever I said. And the whole place laughed hysterically, right? And then I was like, I'm pretty sure Sam hates me right now. But supposedly she didn't mind the joke. I
No,
don't
she
know.
didn't mind it.
So yeah, that was my joke.
And then Jake followed up, bringing up old history things of me and Sam locking him in cages.
Yeah, I'll call him.
He had a written down speech, so but he had a good. He memorized pretty well.
I when I was thinking about Kids Corner and what to talk, it wasn't funny, but I got a lot of enjoyment and amusement out of. We all were at the Deacon, well not you, but we were at the Deacon Hoover, fireworks, party.
Yeah.
And when we sat down to watch the fireworks, we had Roman and Grayson and Olivia, and then over the stroller we had Ollie, which Ollie was out of the stroller. And just seeing our kids like just truly, and really all the kids at the party enjoying the fireworks was very entertaining. Although I will say, not my kid. Ollie was super amusing to watch the fireworks. He kept going, "Ah!" making like loud noises every time a boom went off. Not like I'm scared. He was,
no, he was just excited.
Yeah, he was just super excited.
You should have saw him on 4th of July. He was even crazier that night.
I can imagine. But probably the funniest thing I've seen any kid do is also all in recent week or two is at Callie's graduation when you're playing that video and he was dancing on the table.
Oh, the wonky donkey.
The wonky donkey.
The wonky donkey.
That was absolutely hilarious. So I have more your kids' corners in my head right now.
My kids are going crazy anymore.
I mean, I couldn't believe he didn't fall off the table.
Ollie?
Yeah.
No, he gets up on tables all the time, man.
I know, but he was looking at the phone and dancing. He wasn't looking at where he is on the table. He stayed on the table. So I really enjoyed the 4th of July event and watching our kids enjoy themselves. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, it's been a long show.
It's been a long show. I think we need one of these.
Yeah.
Do you have any more drink on you?
Let's see.
There you go. Got another Pepsi shot for the underage part of our show. Cheers. Ooh. Ooh. And I don't have a chaser anymore. So
Me neither.
with that, deuces, everybody. It's been episode 17. We'll see you next week. And our mouse isn't working.
Oh, man.
There we go.
Technical errors.
Technical difficulty.